Okay. How we doing now? We're on.
How you guys doing?
I want to find out about the trash stuff.
Good evening, everyone. My name is John Gibbon, Chairman of the Town of Ware Board of Selectmen. And this is the June 8th, 2026 meeting. Would you all rise for
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to lead off by public comment. Before we start, we're going to have a public hearing for anything to do with the trash, solid waste ordinance, recycling, or whatever. I'd ask people to not use the public comment for that. You'll have an opportunity to speak at the 7 o'clock period. We're going to cut everything off. Whatever, if we're still into public comment, we're going to cut it off after they go into the 7 o'clock meeting. So if you are here to speak your concerns on Parks and Recs, Chase Park, we would ask you to do it during the public comment section, because it will not be open to the public. We'll be talking with the Parks and Recs director and the chairman. So, we clear? Maybe not. We'll
There's a
try
lot
it
of
again.
people in the hall.
How many here for discussing Chase Park? Are you here for also the transfer station?
Yes.
Well, some of you will be leaving.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You're invited to stay.
You're invited to stay. But, so, we're going is everybody out there able to hear now?
Jack, I think we need to maybe push people in a little bit
Yeah.
that are seated and make a little standing room in the back.
Whatever you guys want to
No,
do.
that's a great idea.
Everybody's getting friendly.
There are 2 seats up here.
Do you know Chris?
Everybody in?
Michigan. Her home state.
Must have a fire problem here sooner or later.
Yeah, the fire chief's not here, we'll probably just pack it in.
There's room in here if you want to come in.
I'd offer that one, but you'd almost sit on the floor.
Okay. Public comment. Chase Park, you can speak here because you will not be able to speak on the, following the public input on the solid waste ordinance. Parks and Rec are going to make their presentation to the board of what they want to adjust the hours. So this is maybe a little premature where you can have your public comment, but you won't know what the hours of operation that we're going to be considering tonight. So I'll start off by public comment on Chase Park, and you have something to read?
Or anything else you guys want to speak about. Now's the time.
Oh,
to
yeah,
do it.
and, sorry, anything else?
Yeah.
Do you have anything you
And
want to?
again, just hold your comments from, about the transfer station until the
7 o'clock.
Public hearing at 7.
And if people are supportive of some prior speaker, you say, I support what's personally been done, rather than repeat the entire thing over again, if you could. Thank you. Who would like to get up for a public comment on Chase Park or anything else? Right?
Name and address. Name and address.
Thank you, Frank Campana.
Where do you live, Frank?
Pardon me?
What do you want?
Quaker Street.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. It's good for me to say that, because then I know how to get home.
Hold on.
I hadn't planned on public comment until I read the newspaper this afternoon, and I see Ware and Hillsborough joined ICE task force. Well, here's my comment. My first impression is I think for the right amount of money, or any amount of money, the police department can be bought, and their souls also. Again, I'm not going to discuss whether they should belong, necessarily belong or not, or the ICE issue. Though I was hoping that town would never subscribe to that, but it's certainly a question of money. What they can get by performing whatever they need to perform for ICE. So that's why I say they can be bought. What's going to happen if and when, hopefully not, but there's a, what's the word I use? When Ware makes the news for a, involving a fatality, like we've seen in other states, okay? And I'm curious to know, I guess, not question and answer, but was this one of the non-public discussions
No.
that the police chief had? So I guess the selectmen has signed off on that?
No.
Because I haven't heard any, the meetings that I've been to, I haven't heard any public discussion between the board and the police chief.
We're going to be discussing this later tonight in the
Okay.
departments.
Okay. So, and on top of that, because it's money-driven, I'll just read you what the, part of what the,
You're not going to read the whole thing, are you?
I'm not going to read the whole thing, I understand. The agreement, it authorizes local police, while carrying out their normal operations, to arrest and interrogate people for warrants or on suspected immigration violations. I'll leave it there. Okay? Well, this is an incentive now for the police department and the policemen, the officers, not the cops, the officers, to get out there and, maybe overreach a little bit when people are on the road, and, hopefully they win the lottery once in a while, and it will involve the immigration. Again, it's money-driven, and I think it's egregious that the police department is, falling into that trap.
Thank you,
That's it.
Frank.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak on either Parks and Rec or anything else? Come on down.
Joe Stern on Thorndike Road. There are two parts to what I'm going to talk about. One is the building, the community sense of Chase Park. Now, there are people here in this audience who, we grew up with my daughter, their kids, and all of us grew up together at Chase Park. We formed bonds there with each other that have continued through today. My daughter's friends are still friends of the characters in this room. The people who go there are generally very family-oriented. When I swim 2 to 3 times a week in the summer, so I'm there either in the morning, late morning, early mid-afternoon. And I see families coming in. A mother, kids, father and mother, father and kids, they come in. Sometimes the grandparents come in. And what they do is they go to the beach, and they respect the beach, they respect the water. The parents are supervising the kids. There's a lot of community building there. The relationships that are formed continue for a long time. The second part I'm going to talk about is if there's a money issue, and I know some people here may be against this, but I think the fees for the park are ridiculously low. I pay $5 if I get to the park before my wife gets in. I pay $5 for a senior fee. She gets there first, I have to pay the $5. That's the way it is. That's a ridiculous, I look around communities, not just in New Hampshire, but out of state. And people who have passes for the park and the community centers, the pool or the beaches or whatever, are paying a whole lot more money. The fees that go for $5 for a senior, I think is way ridiculous. I don't know what the fee should be. I'd be willing to pay $20, $30, $50, because I use it a lot. That's probably out of reach for some people. I don't see a lot of seniors going there, because I'm there 3 different times during the week. I don't see a lot of seniors, so I don't think a fee increase would affect seniors much. But for a family with kids who are using the facility and the beach, to pay a little extra, to get the services, to have that sense of community, to bond with their neighbors, I think is priceless. And so I'm going to suggest, I really hope that the board goes with supporting the park and the recreation budget and seriously consider raising the fees so that the park can be subsidized to be as effective and meaningful for this community as it has been in the past.
Joe, just to be
Thank you.
specific, specific on fees.
Joe.
John? Joe? Regarding fees, whatever we collect for fees do not offset operating expense in the form of labor. Okay, it goes for future, and I use the word future, by vote of the board for upgrading the facilities. So that's something we may have to fix at the next town meeting, should we wish to do that as a board. So fees are being put into a separate special revenue account, which can only be expensed by the board for purposes of upgrading the facility. So just wanted to point that out. That's currently how it's done. It doesn't mean we can't consider this in the future.
Thanks, Jeff. But is that something, the fee set in stone?
No, we can do anything we want.
Okay.
So we could take consideration of your point.
Yeah, because I would suggest that it be something that the board or in a town meeting, next town meeting, however the process would be.
By the way, we're not just picking on Parks and Rec. Everybody's getting scrubbed. I'll be honest with you.
Understand.
It pains me personally because I spent my youth there, my mother, my brother and my sisters going there during the week. I know exactly what you're saying. So, but it's not that we're wanting to do this. It's an area we can find some expense money that we can offset expenses that we're having trouble meeting elsewhere in life and safety type departments, police, fire, and DPW. So,
Okay, thank you.
have a nice night, Jim. Yes, sir, come on down.
Hi, my name's Jim Royce. Lived in Ware about 21 years.
What's your address, sir?
87 Fox Hollow.
Thank you.
What is the current proposal? Because I was under the impression things had changed since last week or 2 weeks ago. What is the current proposal? Because that might make further discussion. It may end the discussion.
Well, I don't really want to get into that because that's going to be a lengthy process. Unfortunately, the way this is set up tonight, we have public comment, and we'll talk about this after the 7 o'clock public hearing for solid waste. It'd be premature for me because there may be a proposal made tonight, but the board will ultimately make the decision whether we support Parks and Rec's proposal or if we adjust it and accept it. So just making the point that, unfortunately, had a time machine to go backwards, it might have made sense to have the proposal first, and then you can come in afterwards. But it's about as much as I can say right now.
There was a
sir.
proposal a couple weeks ago, and we asked to sharpen it a little bit more, and we haven't seen that new proposal. We're gonna see it tonight.
Oh, okay.
In general, I'll just say, it's curtailing the hours of operation and looking at which particular day we can do away with during the week.
Okay.
Just,
And we don't have a lot of time here because we need to get the decision made because it's got
Time's
a
ticking.
week and a half.
It's 80 degrees.
only 7 o'clock, but
Yeah.
No, I know. That was a couple of my suggestions. Number one, cut back on the hours a little bit so that we can use it when it's 90 degrees out and the kids can use it and the kids will have their summer jobs. There's a lot of moving factors here that you might not think about other than if the gate's closed when you want to go. You already addressed where the fees go because I heard that they did not go to lower the budget. And that's a shame. I think they should. You know, a fee to come in, a fee to put your boat in, all those should go against operating costs. It sounded like you said it's up to you guys.
it's up to the board to put a
Yep, that's a good thing.
warrant article in.
Okay.
To make the change.
I guess that's all I got, other than we're lucky that we have Chase Park.
Thank you.
If you wanted Chase Park and you didn't have it, you wouldn't be able to get it. So keep that in mind if you would. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else with Chase Park? This lady right here, I saw her hand first.
This lady is Suzanne Merrill, and I live on 13 Emery Lane in Ware. So I have a question. The property that the town of Ware owns, is that public property, town property? Can we walk on it? Can we, like Inison Field? I mean, you're not going to get arrested. We're not going to get stopped for trespassing there. But is there a sign at Chase Park that says, please take notice, you're trespassing if you go into the park?
Unless somebody more braver than myself,
Because-
and knowledgeable to answer that. I mean,
Because,
go ahead, as the Parks and Rec.
Matt Beeler, Park Committee Chair. There is a policy in town that when the gates are closed, it's considered trespassing, whether it be the fields, Chase Park. Now, I'm not saying there's gonna be a big, issue, but just for that there is a policy, if the gates are closed, then they are considered off limits. Most of that has been for protection of the property.
so some places it's okay and some places are not okay, is what I'm hearing.
If it's
gated.
If it's gated, it's.
All right, so there's two boat ramps there, one inside the gate and one outside the gate. That's not gated. So the people that I know that use the water, like I kayak a lot, if I put my kayak in the water outside of the gated park, it's okay.
Well, there's a bigger issue that's beyond just you walking in there and doing it. It's concern about invasive species, not suggesting you go
Right,
all over the place.
right.
but that is the concern about monitoring, and our parks director and is qualified to go make that assessment.
Okay, so I understand that, but the rules are a little different. Launching a boat inside the park or launching
Being
it,
on one side and not on the other?
yeah.
Well, maybe we gotta look at that. I remember it vaguely being there, but that's an issue I guess we're gonna have to address. Thank you for bringing it up.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. What's that?
Anybody else from Chase Park? The gentleman back there had his hand.
Let her go first, she's been patiently waiting, I will finish it up.
I didn't see her hand before.
Martha Peterson, from Thorndike Road, Ware. I'm just a concerned citizen because I've been here for 40 years and I do use the park a lot. I go down there to swim. And like a gentleman on the Parks and Rec was saying everybody has to cut back, everybody has to cut this and cut that. And that's exactly why you need to leave it open, because there's so many kids that won't be going anyplace this summer. They'll be staying right here in town. It'll be 90 degrees or 100 degrees, and where are they going to go? And besides that, it keeps them entertained. Like play ball in the lake, they play frisbee on the park. It's just a great place for the kids to grow up, and it's a great asset that the town has. And I think you could shorten a day a little bit, but leave it open. Like when it's going to be 90 or 100 this week, even, it's going to be closed. And also, I was turned away on a weekend because all the boat people come in from out of town, and you should charge them more to come in and put their boats in, and they take up all the spaces, and then we can't get in as citizens of the town. We can't use the park on the weekend because there's too many boat people from out of town. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Suzanne Cowie. I live on Upper Craney Hill Road in Ware. I've lived in town for 45 years, and I've been intricately involved with Chase Park as their aquatics director in the past, teaching water safety courses and keeping everybody safe. And understanding the short nature of our season and the use of being able to go to Chase Park when the schools are closed is a big deal here in our town. And it facilitates families as well as young children and older people. And I think that the concern of even closing the park for a day, for example, let's say you pick a Wednesday to close the park, and we have a 90-degree day on a Wednesday, you're going to have people going in on that side of the gate. So either figure out a plan to facilitate on those extremely hot days when people are going to want to be at the facility. And again, I don't believe it's an issue to shorten your day, but please don't penalize the people that are working and preventing them from being able to use the park at the end of the day. So, as a concerned citizen, it's a gem that we have that we need to preserve. I realize that the funds that pay the employees come out of the town budget for the employees. A consideration would be to have fewer people working, but again, you have to address what's happening, with the workload, during the daytime. You could also consider a carry-in and carry-out policy, which will help reduce some of the concerns as far as, trash removal and that sort of thing. But again, I think that as the selectmen have a decision to make tonight, please think carefully about what you choose to close at Chase Park, as it's a wonderful facility, and our people in town really are very lucky to have it available to them. So, please keep it available.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Larry Dunlap, 108 Reservoir Drive. So I'm new to town. Actually just kind of figured out how close I was, and I got really excited. I'm going to keep it frank. Hearing what I heard and hearing that we got to speak on it, I actually came here to hear you guys talk about it and get the information first. I don't want to come in hot and uneducated, right? That's kind of tough to do. So I am going to be frank. From what I've picked up in the year and just watching all this and trying to follow as much as I could, it feels retaliatory. It feels like you guys are frustrated for a budget default that has been going on for years. What leads me to even further believe that is you telling me that you have the control to adjust those budgets, but have failed to do so. So I think some of those costs should be going to the employees who are employing. When I got my sticker the other day, there was 3 kids doing the job that one could have done. So those are kind of frustrating things from my viewpoint. And I just hope you guys can understand from the outside looking in, it feels retaliatory. It feels like this is being done out of frustration for the budget and the town voting against that. People are losing money and can't afford daily expenses. So of course, we have to look at that because we all see taxes shooting up year after year after year. What's happening at this end of this year? Another assessment, right? Our taxes are going to go up again. Those are the reasons we're all so frustrated. So that's how I see Chase Park, and I just want to be frank about that. I'm also going to build off the first gentleman. The whole ICE thing I actually just heard about not reading, speaking to another thing. It's kind of frustrating because I don't see that to be an issue in this town. I'd be a little more understanding if I felt like there was a lot more illegal immigrants in the town. However, a year and a half, I mean, you guys can't even police the high school. I see it every day on a daily occurrence of absolute reckless behavior. So I hope we can keep that a focus and kind of doing the things that we're already lacking on doing and not putting a ghost problem as a priority. That's all I got other than the trash. And thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. I just want to say for myself personally, it's coming up on 7. This is not retaliatory by any means. I don't, by myself, and I have never heard any on the board, in or out of the meetings and discussions. I asked Beth before I came here, for the balance of the year, how much I would call it reserve that we've been able to generate for things that we don't know is gonna happen bad. We have $1,000, which is nothing. So, we've under budgeted for repairs of large trucks. It's $85,000 last year, we did $178,000. Now, why is that gonna change this year? Probably not. That's something staring us in the face, so we set it at 134. I got,
Can I do my
7
email?
o'clock. I still got 30 seconds.
Can I do my email?
Huh?
Can I do my email now?
What?
The public comment email, can I do that now?
Sure.
Okay. All right, I got an email from a resident, he just wanted it read at the public comment. Board of Selectmen, I understand the thought of shortening hours for town personnel to help with budget shortages as the wages are purely overhead. I do not support asking or considering Parks and Rec's budget as a source of that should be tampered with. Parks and Recs have cut specifically Chase Park hours of operation, and I feel it's not beneficial. Reduction in Chase Park hours and potentially not being open full-time after June 20th is going to turn a lot of revenue away for local business. Our gas stations, restaurants, convenience stores, I would feel have a negative impact on revenue. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is also understanding that stickers and entry fees go directly into the town general fund. This is why Parks and Rec is not able to pay the employees with revenue they have created during normal business hours. If I understand correctly, reducing and/or limiting operation of Chase Park would also create a shortfall of the budget lost revenue generated from the park entry fees. Not all visitors are paying for a seasonal sticker. I would imagine that there is potentially even a greater amount generated from non-residents visiting campgrounds over the course of the summer. I propose that the other committees, such as Conservation, should be using their funds to help offset the budget shortfall so Parks and Recs are not affected. I am not aware of how much Conservation has in their land purchasing account, and that would be generated from tax dollars, but I'd like to think there's enough to cover the year's budget issues. I would rather see the tax money be used towards keeping Chase Park fully operational than purchasing land this year. Local business, and especially ones that depend on peak summer influenced activities, are the ones bringing revenue into town and paying the taxes. Conservation purchasing land does not bring residents and their dollars into town. Thank you for your time, Todd Nickel.
Thank you. At this point, I'm gonna have to shut down the public comment because we gotta go into the 7 o'clock posted public hearing. So at this point, we will pick up the Parks and Rec, Chase Park schedule discussion. After that, I can't tell you how long that's gonna take. So you can do one of two things. Stay here, or rush home, turn on your TV, and hopefully catch it
That's on.
in the comfort of your home.
It's on.
So, with that said, at this point, move to public hearing at 7 o'clock. It's now 7:02, unfortunately. A public hearing comment, to hear public comment and testimony regarding changes to the solid waste ordinance and transfer station. I will recognize,
Chair, before we get into it, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to move that in section 5, under waste disposal procedures, section 5.4, clear translucent bags shall be used effective 1/1/2027 for all residential trash without recyclables be struck from the draft and not considered.
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and second. At this point, open for discussion on the board only.
So the motion is to take that up completely.
Strike 5-4.
I guess my concern is that was recommended by the DPW director, and he's going to speak this evening. And unfortunately, it could end up that way eventually, but for the purposes tonight, I personally like to see it left in, and if we need to do something afterwards, I'd be open to that. Personally, I just think it's,
I think we can probably address it during his comments.
yeah, but we take it out as moot at that point. If we vote to remove this, it's a moot issue. So I'm kind of saying.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. Get rid of it.
I think it's premature until we discuss the whole,
Yeah.
Jason explains it to us, we discuss it as a whole.
Okay, then let's vote on it.
Huh?
Then let's vote.
So you have a motion to remove 5.4 from your draft,
Discussion, okay.
and you had a discussion.
So we discussed.
Well,
It's been moved
we're
and
done
seconded.
discussing it. Then we vote.
I vote in favor of removal.
I vote against what I said.
I vote against removing at this point.
I vote in favor of it. Remove.
So we're deadlocked.
So 2-2 means it stays at the moment.
Okay.
That's the way I look
That
at it.
doesn't pass.
Yeah, and I don't have any issues, I just wanted to give DPW Director Jason Fisk
Okay. fair
the
enough.
opportunity. With that, Jason, where are you? There you are. I asked Jason to spend a few minutes discussing the path forwards. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just pass those up. For anybody who's here for the solid waste ordinance. So Selectmen brought up some points about our solid waste ordinance. We want to have a public hearing to take some testimony in, hear everybody's questions, comments, concerns. If we run out of those papers, I can print out some more real quick. It's basically recycling rates for the town for the last 6 years. If you tie in our glass, which is an estimate, we're sitting at around 24% on average recycling. There's a lot of other towns around us that are pushing 30 to 40%. So I think there's definitely some room for improvement for us. As far as that goes, whether clear bags are the solution or they're not, whether commercial haulers are the solution or they're not, we'd like to get everybody's opinion on that.
Looks like I need more papers.
Jason, can I just ask a question on this chart?
Of course.
For instance, 2019, scrap iron,
Yep.
it says tons, you don't really mean 9.82% of a ton.
No, so, sorry, let me get in there.
So it's 9.22 tons,
Nope,
not even that.
that is the percentage of total of the waste that is scrap metal,
By
Really?
volume of tons.
tons.
Oh,
So what's,
got it.
so what's the 321 mean? It was 321 tons?
So 321 is the tonnage, and then 9.82% is the total amount of It's the percentage of that total ton number.
I got it now.
So same down the line with the aluminum. Aluminum cans in 2019 was 0.37% of the waste at the transfer station.
Driveway that went through the transfer station.
Yep.
Driveway.
Yep.
Okay.
That got separated.
Separate, okay.
Yep.
Thank you. All right. Who would like to be the first? Speak. The first is last, the last is first.
Do I have to say who I am again? Larry Dunlap, 108 Reservoir Drive. I understand this, it's kind of a tough thing. I had a good conversation with the gentleman down there. I could probably do a better job personally. I'll call myself out on the recycling, and we'll be making that effort. My concern with the clear bags is where are you going to get them? I was at Walmart and I literally looked for them and I couldn't find them. So that's one of my main concerns. And that's really the only thing that I have an issue with this is where are we going to get the clear bags? And the few clear bags I have seen, they're pretty bad, like really bad. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to have an adverse effect here and people are going to take that frustration out and we're going to end up having more trash scattered around town. And that's my concern. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Who else would like to speak on the transfer? Go on down, sir. Whoop, you're next. You okay? I saw the other gentleman.
Todd Solar from Cold Springs Camp Resort. So we're a commercial campground, and we have taxes that we pay for just the property, over $160,000 a year. The campers that are there, 3/4 are seasonal, so they also have to pay taxes, which equals to over $150,000, which is about $310,000 a year. We have not been allowed to dump our trash truck in the town of Ware for probably 6 to 8 years. So we haul this out of town and pay to get rid of it. We used to go to H2O until that burned down. Now we have to go 30 miles away from here. When we pay that much in taxes and the campground is closed 6 months out of the year, they pay their taxes and none of the kids go to school. So they literally, it's a second home. It doesn't seem fair. The clear bags, same issue. They're not strong enough. We have trash barrels throughout the park. None of them are as strong as the black bags. So I don't believe that would be an asset. So I'd like to know, number one, on why, if we're abiding by all the rules, why we're not allowed to dump our trash truck in the town of Ware, even though we fill out the permit, pay the $250. I did that in April again, and I'm still told no, and this hasn't even been voted on yet, so it doesn't even make sense.
What we did was halt new commercial haulers, okay? We're gonna honor the commercial hauler that we currently have a application.
But you haven't, I have an application in.
You can do the application.
I did.
Well, I'm just saying we've halted approving new permits. And what we've asked for the DPW director is to go off and look at surrounding towns' best practices that are being used, and take some input on what other towns are doing and how they're doing it. And because, we're not doing this because we all of a sudden decided we wanted to be into the trash avoidance business here, or clear bags. We spend $300,000 a year between trucking, which is a minority cost, and tipping at Wheelabrator in Concord for 2,500 tons. Everything that goes there that's not removed from recycling, we gotta pay to truck it. We lose the recycling value, which we sell for revenue to increase the abilities and upgrade our transfer station. So, the problem is for this year, we looked at every budget to the Chase Park question we just had, and discovered that we have $1,000 we're paying, and if we bring more commercial trash in, we're gonna be incurring more trucking of tons over to Wheelabrator. And we gotta take a look at this and see how can we best optimize this for the town residents, for minimizing the budget impact, and increasing the ability to do the recycling, which allows us to have a revenue stream to improve.
But just our campground pays for that 300,000 that you're talking about. It's 310,000 to be exact. That pays for everything you're talking about.
No, it doesn't. We've, just so I'm very clear, should have said this before. To meet our budget this year, 3 years in a row, we've had a default budget. We are down one police officer. We are not going to hire that person for this calendar year. Why? We don't have the money. We're using it for expense side of the equation that we don't have enough money for. 2 DPW drivers, big truck drivers, we're not hiring them. Why? Because we're not rehiring them, because if we did, we wouldn't be able to meet our expense budget. We're using wages and benefits for that. We asked, we are not rehiring a code enforcement officer that we had part-time here. As a result, we asked our building inspector to take that up. Okay, why aren't we rehiring him? Because we don't have the money. Okay, we're using that money to offset expenses, which we don't have any money for expenses. We've also asked police department to, two officers on patrol during the day, put them in one car. Why? Because we can't afford to repair the geriatric police vehicles that we have. Not to mention the geriatric large trucks that we have for repair. So this isn't a question of us doing this for esoteric exercise. We are looking to make it through the end of this year, and I just mentioned, for a $9 million budget, and we're 5 months through, let's say, 7 months ago. We've got $1,000, according to Beth, our finance administrator. I asked her this morning, how much of the good do we have float or for reserve? And if we exceed that, we gotta find someplace else to get that money. So we still gotta go through plowing season, breakdown, salting and sanding, how many storms we're gonna have? Are we gonna exceed our salt budget? These are all the things we have in front of us that we don't have money for. The problem is, we've asked for the last 3 years for a operating budget, number 10 this year. It got turned down, as the last 3 years. The problem is, when you turn down the operating budget, wages are generally approved by a separate warrant article. So we say we want the operating budget approved. We're really approving the smaller part of the budget called expense. So the town of Ware is not immune to inflation. We all buy stuff on the economy here to run the town. And we're down 10% just in the last 3 years of buying power. So that's why we're out scratching for every dime and dollar here. And one of the targets initially was, gee, how much are we spending to haul our trash and tip it? And we started looking into it. And we're here now because we're trying to figure out how to reduce our expense. Because if we're having a problem this year, next year it's probable that we're not going to get another increase on our operating budget, which is going to even be worse. So this is why we're going through this exercise, is to figure out how to afford it. And that's a real crisis.
I agree with that, but we're a commercial hauler, we have our business in town, we should have every right to be able to use it if we're obeying the rules at the transfer station.
We paused it for a while, and we're going to have to see what the board wants to do.
Yeah, because like I said, my check has not been cashed, which I found that out last week, that's why I'm here, because nobody officially told me that until I went there with the truck. I filled it out in April, and I didn't go with the truck to even try to dump until 2 weeks ago. And then the person working there says, this is your one and only, don't come back. That's how I found out. So he said, dump it and don't come back. So that's
Tom, I just got a
definitely.
question for you before you
Yeah.
head off. With the rules and the regulations of the commercial haulers,
Yeah.
how do you in your business encourage recycling?
Number one, I haven't been allowed to dump for 6 to 8 years.
Okay,
So right now, we're going to Bradford.
okay,
When we did recycle, I had an employee work 40 hours a week. We had all of our barrels out. He pre-sorted before we went there. We would go there with 2 or 3 one-ton dump trucks on the side. And back then, we were being told we weren't doing enough. When I have a full-time, 40-hour-a-week person, I got to the point where I just said, forget it. That's not worth it.
it's not worth it.
So that's why we left. Now with the expenses, diesel, everything else, how far I have to go, that doesn't justify going to Bradford to go dump. And considering all the tax money that we pay, if we obey by the rules, there should be no reason, just like any of the other commercial haulers, obey the rules and be allowed to dump.
So are you prepared to recycle?
I would do whatever we have to do to dump back here, yes.
Good point.
I guess that was my question.
Yeah.
I didn't know, obviously, I know you'd left,
Right.
but I didn't know, obviously, because that's part of the contract is, you know, you'll follow the solid waste ordinance, which has recycling in it, and where we're trying to get back to, you know,
Right.
a higher volume.
There is
recycling.
ways of doing it. I think the clear bags is not the way to go. As I said many times, we have barrels, people put bottles, cans in them. Clear bags don't hold much. They're not strong, they're not thick. You can buy them maybe at Sam's Club, they're still not heavy duty. So that's not the answer as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? The gentleman back there, hand up. Yes, sir. I saw you first, but the other guy beat you.
Give me a chance to think. So I'm Jonathan Eagle. I live on Peasley Road. And first I wanted to thank all of you. You know, actually, so I've been in town 2 years, and I came from Massachusetts. So don't hold that against me. But there's lessons learned from Massachusetts, believe it or not. And I don't mean putting in sidewalks or streetlights. But I did want to thank you all. I know this is a lot of work for you, for all of you, and I think sometimes we don't recognize it. And you see the data much closer than we do, and so we say, oh, you're cutting this, we don't like that. You're cutting that, we don't like this, you know. So I think the first point I wanted to make was, there was a gentleman who, he said, I didn't want to come in hot, but he seemed pretty hot. No, that's a concern I have, is when decisions get made and there's some sort of behind the scenes, it feels like there's not a lot of data, okay? And I could ask you questions, and you probably would say, we don't know the answer to those questions. And I wouldn't either, and I could take a long time to find them, okay? But, so I'm not going to say that. But I think it's really important that the residents feel comfortable, and I'm coming in feeling that way, just so you know. I personally trust you guys, because I feel like the fact that you guys are focused so much on the fiscal issues of the town, that's if you guys were carefree and then, I don't know, Canterbury and some other town, I've heard some towns that are like, they're in big trouble. Anyway, but we're not. And I appreciate that you're doing all this hard work. So that being said, you know, I know that, you know, I came from a town, and 30 years ago, we had a beautiful dump. And I love the dump in Ware. Okay, I really love it. When people complain about it on Facebook, I say, I love the dump. That's me, okay? And I also came here because I don't want it to change. My wife and I both love Ware. People are very friendly to us, they're very welcoming, very kind to us, and we love it here. We just absolutely love it here. Best decision I ever made. I feel more at home here than where I used to live for 30 years. And so, you know, we had a beautiful dump, and basically the town, in a similar process, which is where it touches a vein for me, because I don't usually come to town meetings, you know, and they basically murdered the dump. You know, they started putting in lots of regulations, and the regulations made people not use the dump. And I was, you know, an old timer in the town. I resisted. Not everyone started having, you know, bells, you know, from the services taking care of the dump, you know, taking their stuff out. I resisted as long as I could. Of course, my wife does most of it. So I do the manly stuff like motor oil. But, so, you know, we resisted as long as possible, and then we started using this just like everybody else, okay? And the services were, you know, were more expensive than going to the dump, personally, you know, but they made it so unusable. And so I think my main point with this is that whatever you decide, that, you know, you're very open-minded about, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. You could publish like a questionnaire and ask people what they want, okay? I mean, I don't know if people do that anywhere, but some towns do it, okay? And, you know, and one thing I do like about, you talked about, let's go look and see what other towns do. That's great, but I can tell you that the town we never had clear plastic bags, and but they destroyed the dump, you know, with opaque bags. So I just think, like, there's some things you could do, maybe start with that and then make the changes. Now, I don't know where we are fiscally, maybe it's an emergency, you gotta, like, you know, stop the train, but another scenario is to maybe collect, you know, do what you kind of said you're gonna do, but in reverse, rather than say, we're stopping everything, and then we'll study it for a while, study it and then make the changes. Because I just think that's like a more logical, and I think it would make people feel, especially if you collected data, it would make people be more supportive of whatever decision you made. So that's kind of all I had to say.
Thank you.
Sure.
Next, gentleman there. Light blue shirt, I was gonna say blue shirt.
It's the nicest thing I've been called all day. Yeah. Brent Dickinson, Dells Way. Some things I don't know, I have questions on. So, we say that we're recycling percentages. We need to know how much are we expending to recycle those goods? What's our rate of return on the labor? The clear plastic bags, no, I'm not for, not at all, not at all. I'm from Maine originally. When I got out of the service, I went up there in 2000, went back, and it was twist ties. We need to get the twist ties from the town, plus the buck, a bag. And then it was, well, we need the twist ties and a couple bucks. And then it was the special bags for $5 a piece. I'm not gonna play that game. I'll get a burn barrel, I don't care. But when you start looking at implementing changes and finding out where you can cut corners, save money, don't look at your percentages, look at what's my rate of return for what I'm investing. What's the census for the employees up to the transfer station?
As far as,
You got enough, you don't have enough?
we need more.
Okay, so,
Towns were light.
so if you implement this bag policy, you're gonna need someone to monitor that. They're already busy. If you hire one more, pay and benefits is about 80 grand. So how much you plan on saving on this plastic you're gonna recycle? How much are you saving?
We're already, Jason's introducing PEC 2, right? Number 2 plastic. We're already redoing everything else. Other plastics, the 1 through 6, we're not doing.
No, I'm not talking about the specific materials. I'm talking how much money.
But we're already recycling. Okay?
Yeah,
these are
got
the-
it. You're increasing your workload.
It could potentially.
Then what?
We need those numbers. We need to come up with those numbers.
Then what? So we're talking about, we're hard up on cash. We don't have any money to work with. Study it first. If you don't know your rate of return on every effort, excuse me, sir.
That's the plan.
No, it isn't.
I brought it up earlier. that
No,
we're
the
going-
plan is what, we clear plastic bags.
I mentioned earlier that DPW, I'll be myself, Naomi, whoever wants to be on the board too often, check out the towns, understand what's going on. I mean, that's the only sane thing to do up front. I would give Jason the opportunity to come forwards. He's the one that made the recommendation. And rather than just take it out away from him, I think we should give him the ability to go off and do some research on this.
That should have been researched before it was presented to the town.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have a time machine, so I can't go back in time.
No, that's good management practice.
Yeah, I know, but we're here, and I'm
Yes, we
sorry.
are.
We'll take that on. I'll take that on, because we just decided this the other day.
Because we have no idea how much we get for what, how much man hours we are actually putting into it. It could turn out, all the recycling we're doing, we're spending, we're getting pennies back on the dollar. We don't know. And that's the biggest problem. If you're spending $5 to save $1,
Do you have
no
anything-
wonder we're in the position we're in.
Do you have anything else? Do you have anything else to say?
You cutting me off?
I'm just asking if you have anything else to say.
Well, is there anything productive the board can give me on the fact that what I'm saying
We're not here
is,
doing a dialogue, we're here to take a public hearing, to take input.
I'm asking a question.
I will do some, well, I don't have the answers tonight. We're just trying to figure out what people's concerns are. You've stated yours. Do you have any other concerns you wish to share?
Not at this point in time. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
Hi, Tom Flaherty, Sunrise Lane. I'm just gonna, whenever there's a mandate before me or before, to think about whether I support it or not, I just wanted to share some thoughts that I go through, and I hope that you are or will consider some of my thoughts. I'm not looking for a dialogue or at all. First of all, I always ask, what problem are we trying to solve? Is it emotional or is it measurable? I got this sheet tonight with some data, which should be the way that all decisions are made, by some data. I need a little time to kind of work through this and figure out what it is. And then are there external forces or is it internal? So I don't know if there are any external forces here, but that always plays into it as well. Sounds like it's mostly internal. But again, these are the things that I consider. If it's emotional, it's a dead issue in my mind, and if there's external forces, that really changes it. If it's internal forces, you got to balance it out. Consequences is number 2. Intended consequences. Do we expect to save from this? Do we know that we're going to save from this? And that's data, again, that I would prefer to see. Are we going to save, or are we going to mitigate a current loss? Are we breaking even on this, or are we going to come out ahead? It sounds like the taxpayers are going to have to buy bags. That's an intended consequence. I don't think the town's going to supply bags for us, so I'll consider that a fact in my decision-making. Unintended consequences is the worst. This whole program could fail. There could be a loss of revenue. Some folks have mentioned additional staff. You have people that will stop recycling because they don't want to buy the bags. They're going to go on their own, burn barrel, whatever. And then, the monitoring, what is the cost for that? Is it going to add a cost? And will this just not solve anything? Will it be a mandate with no positive outcome? I think unless you have a really good feeling on how, and preferably with data, how that's going to turn out, I think you need to consider those things before making a decision. And then lastly, and it doesn't sound like this is an issue here, but are people's liberties being impacted? This is more of an inconvenience than it is a liberty. Removing people's ability to go to the transfer station, I guess, unless they show up with a plastic bag that's not, compatible, compliable, then what happens then? Are they going to get fined, turned away? They're paying taxes for the transfer station, so are you planning and prepared to turn people away if they show up with the wrong kind of bags, given the policy? So a little bit of a liberty issue there. But I think you got to think downstream a little bit, and I'm sure you are. I just wanted to throw some of those thoughts out at you. All right. Thank you.
Diana Dickinson, 45 Dells Way. First on the clear bags, I'm against it. I feel it's invasive. We're a household with 2 women, and there are certain things that I would rather not be on display when we go to the transfer station. If you're men, but I'm sure you are aware of what I'm talking about. I'm not sure if we're allowed to hide those type of things in some of their bag inside the clear bag, but I'd rather not. We chose Ware years ago because it's the home of the Pine Tree Riot, and there aren't a lot of ordinances or restrictions or regulations here. We really liked that it was freer, and I feel like this is something that is impeding on some of our freedoms. I feel like I said, I feel it's invasive, having our trash on display. I also feel it's a slippery slope, that when you start implementing rules like this, it's easy to start adding more, cost goes up for each person. And again, how to enforce it. An unenforceable rule is useless. I don't think there's enough people there to enforce it. Last time we were there, not this past weekend, but the Saturday before, we had to pay for a microwave, $5, I think it was, and I couldn't find an employee. I went in and out of the office twice. I was going to approach the guy at the the corrugated cardboard, but I didn't feel like he does that. And then finally I found a guy in a Bobcat. And that was just to pay money to them, something they'd want, they want to deal with, a positive interaction. So I don't know how they could enforce this anyway. And I think if you go on Facebook, Where It's At group or the We Are Where New Hampshire, you're going to see a ton of people who are not going to want to comply with this, so you are going to have issues.
That might influence my motion earlier.
Cool. I liked your motion earlier. It was a little sad how it turned out, but hopefully you'll motion again. Also, I want to mention the commercial haulers, and I feel even more strongly about this after hearing campground. I just forgot the name. Cold Springs? Yes. So I don't really know Killian. I've met him a few times. My husband knows him a little better, but I've never really spent time with Killian. So this is not coming from anything personal. And I really don't know the Cold Springs owner, but I know those are two businesses in town. I know Killian built his business up from nothing. I know Ware does not have a lot of businesses here. And from my point of view, watching the BOS meetings, the last two, where Killian was spoken with, it felt very adversarial. It did feel personal, not from Killian. It felt personal from the board.
I have no problem with Kelly. We get along very well.
Well, I'm telling you how it appeared and how it felt and how it looked. And a lot of other people took that same opinion away. It felt arbitrary. There's no data yet. There's no numbers. And then he was asked to provide numbers that he didn't have, but he was forced to provide a number. And then later they wanted to hold that number. He'll hold him to that number. And he kept trying to say that was an estimate. I didn't come with numbers. So it just felt very adversarial. And it felt like it singled him out. His business model is different from the other 4 haulers. I think there's 5 total that you've approved. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel hospitable. And I think we're, as a town, this is public comment. This is my chance to speak.
I just want to make a point. I did not single him out. I did not use his name ever.
Okay, this is now turning into a dialogue. I thought you didn't want a dialogue.
Correcting you. Thank you.
You're correcting me during public comment.
Hearing. Public hearing.
All right, so this is my opinion. You can correct me with your opinion all you want, but it looked very personal and adversarial.
Thank you.
And I want the businesses in this town to feel welcome. There aren't a lot of them. And these are 2 people that provide a lot to the town. So, in my opinion, this should be figured out with the numbers. There should be clear reasons, a clear path, and not put them on the spot like that. Thank you.
John, you've been hand up before. Thank you.
Hi, how you doing? John Lawton, Oak Hill Road. I guess I'm a little confused as to why the color of a bag that we throw in the hopper would save us money. I think that's the overall purpose of what we're trying to do here is save money. And so I'm a little confused as to how a clear bag versus any other colored bag is going to be saving us money. I don't know if you can answer that or not. I don't know if there's been any figures. Other than that, can you tell me the reason that we would like to go to clear bags? Is there some suspicion that people are putting lead weights in their bags when they throw them in there, or what is the reason we're going to clear bags? Is there any?
I think it's to enhance recycling.
You think people are putting stuff in there they shouldn't be putting in?
Well, if you look at the rates here, 20% compliance with recycling, it's pretty clear that a lot of stuff's going in the hopper and not in the bins where they're supposed to go. That's the point of it. That's the supposed point of a clear bag, is to see if you have cardboard or you have aluminum cans. That's why the clear bag. So it ensures compliance.
Or glass, or construction debris, or who knows.
Yeah, or whatever else is in there.
Okay.
That's the point of that.
Okay.
And frankly, just to add on to that real quick, unless we send less loads and tons we send to Concord, particularly the center of it.
Right.
It's cheaper for the town of Ware.
I have no problem with any of that, Jack. I have no problem with that at all. If in fact you think that the people are not recycling and putting it in their trash, going in the hopper, I'm not sure the clear bags will solve it unless you have somebody there monitoring every time somebody throws something in the hopper. Or, if somebody really wants to do that, they could put it in a market basket bag and put that in the clear bag and still throw the bag in there. I mean, I'm not quite sure what we're doing. One of the other facts, I use 30-gallon bags. I come up once a week. I can buy at Market Basket 20, 30-gallon bags for $3.99. I looked the last time I went to Market Basket when I heard about this. First of all, I didn't know what size the clear bags. The biggest clear bag I could find is 13 gallons. That means I go from roughly 1 bag a week to roughly 4, maybe more than 4 bags a week. And those bags were $5.99 for 24 and $7.99 for 30, or whatever the heck it was. So it's quite a bit more expensive. I can go for 4 months on one purchase, where on the clear bags I'd have to be buying almost every month. So I just don't quite get, if we really think we have a problem with people slipping stuff into the trash they shouldn't, either we can have spot inspections with any bag, just rip it open, but I'm not sure the clear bag is going to solve this problem, and so I'm kind of against that. The other thing on the commercial haulers, the way I understand commercial haulers in this town, and I could become a commercial hauler if I wanted to go up and down my street and talk to my neighbors, I'll take your trash to the dump for $10 a week or whatever it is. I guess you'd call me a commercial hauler. I think they serve a purpose in town in a couple of ways. A lot of people are older people. They don't want to have to ship that stuff up there themselves, so they're providing a service. The second is, I don't know if you ever go up there on a Saturday, but that area gets very busy on a Saturday. So by the commercial haulers taking probably 30% of the residents' trash to the dump on a regular basis, you're stopping that amount of traffic increase at the transfer station. So I think that is something you ought to take into consideration. The amount of traffic up there.
I didn't say this earlier.
What's that?
Well, I'm just going to make a statement. There's at least 4 haulers picking up in the town of Ware. It goes directly to either Wheelabrator or up to Norton's up in Bradford. So there are a significant number of haulers that currently do this, that do not use the Ware transfer station.
Okay.
We're just making a statement that
Okay.
it isn't either or, it's a whole potpourri of options.
All right. That's good. That's a good thing. But even the fact that whoever in the commercial haulers do come up there, you're going to increase the traffic if those people elect to take their own trash up there. And that could be a safety issue with the number of people going up there. But that's it. I was very confused as to why the clear bags are going to be the answer to your fiscal problems, and I don't think they will be. And I agree with your amendment.
Thanks, John. David? Go ahead. The guy that knows everything.
David, just a moment.
No, Jason.
You're gonna go first.
Just 1 second, sorry. John, just to clarify a point, it's not, if we have a problem recycling, there is a problem. Whether or not clear bags is a solution, we're gonna have to figure that out. But, if you sit up there, just one person, you sit and you hang out for an afternoon, you'll see that a third of people drive up to Hopper, throw a bag, and then they're gone. And I'm not saying that's not people who aren't saving up their recyclables and they go there once a week with their recyclables, and this week they go with their trash. Or this day they go with their trash. But certainly, but if you go up there any day of the week, you'll see that you'll find 1/3 of the people are doing that.
Jason, maybe at that time when you see that person only throw one bag, you should rip that bag open and see if he's got anything in there.
That is definitely a messy, possible way of doing it.
Could I have a point of order, please? Point of order. One conversation with the mic. I appreciate your zealousness. David?
David Erickson, 246 Poor Farm Road. I appreciated your comment about the lack of privacy of the plastic bag. That was a point I hadn't thought of. I think the other comment that I really appreciated was the man who said, I'm going to try to recycle more. If we could get the word out and just get the feeling that recycling saves us all money, and it's quite significant money. If we do it voluntarily, then we don't have this adversarial problem that, ripping open someone's bag and putting them on the spot it is going to not be a friendly thing for the employees or the townspeople. It doesn't, I was a school teacher, enforcing things doesn't work. Building a relationship, building a community usually works better. So is there a way that we could build some kind of a public relations, let's do this folks, kind of a, get the Boy Scouts involved, I don't know, some way. What'd you say? All right, but you're going to make me take on another job. Anyway, that's my hope, that we could do it that way.
Yes, miss.
Hello, my name is Holly Zalanko, and I've lived at Old Francistown Road for 18 years, and I've also lived in...
What's your address on Francistown?
403. And then I lived at Grace Drive for 20 years before that. So I've grown up in Ware. I've lived in Ware all my life. And I just have two small comments. One's more of a clarity thing. So with the trash bags, the only thing that really comes to mind is kind of like the transfer stickers. Is it going to create more work for the transfer station having to look through the bag, not through the bags, but look at the bag, kind of like them having to look for the transfer stickers on our cars.
The transfer stickers are principally to meet a state requirement.
Oh, okay.
Do not bring other towns, let people bring trash in from other towns.
Right.
So
I do understand that.
That's a means of regulation that.
Which is great. I just, I have registered my cars. One of them, I have the sticker in the car. I have to admit, I know, I do not have it on the car. It's in the car though. It's there. But I've never been asked for them to see it. Which, and I'm not saying transfer station's not doing a great job. I love you guys, really. So that's my only concern is that, they're...
They may be on a lookout for you.
I know.
Now they are.
Now they are. I'm going to walk home now and leave my car here. And the other question that I did have is kind of for the commercial haulers. And my understanding is that I do know they do other towns. They don't just do Ware, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So only Ware trash is going into the transfer station, or are they allowed to bring other towns in?
No.
Just Ware trash,
Only
right?
Ware trash.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was understanding that correctly. That's what I thought too, but you just wanted to, really get the rules down. But okay, that's all I had. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kate Bloom, 90 Duck Pond Road. I'm against the clear bags for all the reasons already stated, but I do think it's a bad situation for the employees if you do that. You're putting them in a precarious situation where they have to confront people. They need to be standing there watching. They have to confront people who are probably going to be hostile towards it. We wanted a scale to avoid this situation exactly of having to give people an estimate and have this back and forth and issues with them not agreeing with you. And I think you're going to have the same thing with people putting things in clear bags. So, yeah, I would say please no on the clear bags. I also didn't like the way that the commercial hauler situation was approached. It felt like there were some vibe numbers pulled from an unnamed commercial hauler that who knows who it is, and there was no warning given to the current commercial haulers about it, and some of the other board members seemed a little bit blindsided by it. I don't think that's the best way to bring up a situation and approach it. I also don't like that one of the board members kept saying that we were subsidizing Killian's business. We're not subsidizing his business. The people who pay him pay taxes to use the transfer station and dispose of their trash there, and he is simply taking it there for them. That is not subsidizing his business. It doesn't matter that other businesses choose not to take the trash from Ware taxpayers to the transfer station. That's their business, and they can choose to do it however they want, but we're not subsidizing his business, and I took issue with that being said over and over again. I also think there is the potential for lawsuits with how this has all been handled, and that costs the town a lot of money and drives up insurance costs for years to come. And so when we're talking about the budget and not being enough money in it, I do think lawsuits could be an issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Bob Moran, 140 Rolling Hill Drive. I want to, just for my own clarity, we stopped recycling at COVID. They literally just said, no recycling, just throw it all in a hopper. And I think what we're running into is a result of 4 or 5 years of nobody recycling. And now we got to restart things again. So I hope that is in your numbers and that's taken into consideration, that we had a number of years where we didn't do anything. And I know that when I first moved in, I had 3 barrels, cans, plastic, and whatever, and glass, yeah. And I had them marked, and they were in my garage, and we religiously just threw that stuff in there. And my trash was trash, and when I came down to the transfer station, it went in the appropriate places. That hasn't happened since COVID. I do all my cardboard, that gets recycled, but I haven't separated everything else. And I will start redoing everything else as soon as I know what's going on. The other thing is, I would like to know the status of the scale that they want to put in.
That's going to be discussed tonight.
Okay, then I'll hold off because...
Correct me if I'm wrong, we've got a bid, right?
Because if we're not going to be doing all of this all of this stuff with outside carriers and stuff, why do we need a scale?
Wait a minute, the scale was originally rationalized specifically for demolition, where you drive in with your 1 cubic yard box and say...
Okay, so we're not double weighing the trash trailer that goes out. We're not weighing it before it leaves and making sure that we're getting charged the right way. It's just for the
Demolition.
demolition.
Was the intent. That's what we're doing.
All right, well, that's a clarification that I didn't know.
We can't use it for other things, but demolition was the impetus.
Okay. All right, well, thank you
And we
for...
got the money to pay for that from the recycling money.
Okay, so where is the recycling money gonna go now?
Still in the same place, special revenue fund for improving the facilities.
Facilities and equipment.
And you can't use it for maintaining your equipment and...
Yes, we can.
You can, all right, well, and that's...
To an extent.
Yep, well, that's all I need to know. Thank you very much.
Peter.
Jack, can I just say that we never stopped recycling
Correct.
everything?
I want to make that
We
point.
stopped recycling plastic in 2019, 2020.
Good to see you. Peter Bailey, 22 Maple Wells Road. So quick, a couple things. So for recycling, as we're trying to save the environment, so Killian's actually the guy helping us, right? Instead of having 20 cars drive up there, he's taking the trash, so really in essence,
Well,
he's the man. Right? The other thing I got is this clear bag thing, right? You know, when you go there during the week, it's not bad. You go there on Saturday, you'd have to have like 2 people watching the bags fly in there, and then who's gonna go in and get them?
I mean, you know, the whole, that's the reason for the clear bag. And the recycling thing, I think what we can do is, the education is the best policy, because I think a lot of people in town, they're easy. It's easy to throw all the cans in one bag and get rid of it. But if they knew that the bottom line was, you know, hey, if we don't recycle this stuff, it's gonna cost you more in the end, in the taxpayers. So an education program would probably, might help more than having him up there, well, his guys up there. And it's gonna turn into,
I think we got a chairman already for that.
You be the chair. I'll work with you on it.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else wish to speak on the, come on down, Richard.
What do I win?
Clear bag.
One clear bag, thanks. 10 gallon. Richard Bart, Old Town Road. Definitely against clear bag.
What address on Town Road?
What was it?
90 Old Town Road.
Thanks.
That's where the clear bag's going.
It's an age thing, right?
He's not for an answer, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm against clear bags. I don't think it's going to accomplish anything. It's going to be more work for the people down there. Your expectations of people inspecting the bags, I think, are a bit naive, especially if you're going to bring back plastic. You know, I've gone to the dump for 35 years, a transfer station, it used to be a dump. Always two guys at that table with plastic. I just don't see how they're going to be able to spend the time. In addition to any confrontation, which is, you don't want to get into that. I hope you do away with clear bags. But in my opinion, you're dealing with two issues. One's a revenue issue, and one's an expense issue. And if you're trying to increase revenue, the only thing you can generate revenue at transfer station.
Also cost avoidance, not sending it to Wheelabrator.
Pardon me?
Cost avoidance, not sending it to Wheelabrator.
Right. There are three main generators of revenue in recycling. Aluminum is the biggest one, cardboard, and the third one is
Plastic.
plastic. Plastic?
Plastic.
No, apparently we don't do plastic, so, excuse me for a second, I've got to refresh my memory. It's scrap metal, obviously, right?
But that's not, that's tin cans, if you will, but not demolitions.
Not, yeah, it's metal.
It all goes into the scrap metal, because he just picks it up and brings it over there.
Oh, okay. So somehow I think education is the best thing to do, get people to want to buy into it, recognize what the benefits are. As far as an expense, and what you're talking about here tonight, it really is not going to have any direct impact on the budget unless you can reduce the number of transports of household trash.
Tons.
I don't know. I know aluminum isn't going to add that much weight to the process, but
Glass does.
I would think paper is probably the biggest problem. So hopefully you can get people to understand what that is. The buy-in from the people is what you need to get, not directives from government, right? Because I think it was Ronald Reagan said, the scariest phrase that you'll ever hear is, before you know it, is that
I'm from the
government, I'm here to solve a problem. So I think probably getting as good as you get, more education may benefit.
Thank you, Dick.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak? Yes?
Okay.
We'll do a Frank hat.
All right, okay, first of all, I think I just heard Jason said that we could actually have income from recycling plastics, am I correct? Okay,
It's a recent change.
okay, that's good to know, because to me, that would indicate a potential revenue source, because God knows, I would think, as much as I hate, I have a lot of plastic.
It's number 2 plastic.
Okay, that's fine, I'll look for number 2.
Can you just state your
I'm
name
sorry,
and
I'm so
minutes,
sorry,
yeah, for the
Jean
record.
Heineman, 53 Peasley Hill Road.
It's not me, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, that sounds like a good idea to me, doing plastic, recycling number 2. And the other thing is, I don't ever understand everything, but I don't know why we don't have the swap shop anymore. I know you guys are totally overworked. And I must also say, thank you all for doing what you're doing. You're doing a service, and it can be difficult, to say the least, at times. So I appreciate your being there. I appreciate you, Jason, and everybody else that's working in the town. So hopefully we can start doing number 2 plastics, and maybe it's a pain for the swap shop. Is that the problem? Okay.
There's more bad stuff thrown in there than good, unfortunately.
Okay.
Some of the items that are supposed to be paid for end up in there because you can't watch it. It's not enough help.
I'm sorry.
We could have had a microwave in there recently, I think.
Instead of $5 revenue.
Okay, those are my questions. Thank you very much.
You know my reputation. Just saying, can't find anybody to take it. That might have been a spot.
Actually, they were super cool. We had dropped off the week before the habitat. So that's gonna be good.
Frank Campana, Quaker Street, again,
What address?
322. I hope you don't ask me for a bank account, my social security number. I hope it doesn't get to that point. You know, Quaker Street should suffice. I just wanted to make sure I was ahead of Killian.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little long.
Couple of things. This plastic bag, the clear plastic bags, this is reminiscent of a selectman that was probably 6, 7, 8 years ago, probably not that long. But he was a new selectman, and this whole issue about recycling, clear plastic bags came up, and that went by the wayside. So, but take me for example. I don't use any plastic bags when I dump my trash. I have it's a woven plastic. They're grain bags, if anybody's familiar with them. It's quite large. I keep reusing that. When it gets to be too grungy, I can toss it because I have access to other bags. But even if it was just a plain leaf bag. Okay, so Jason would be familiar with this. I asked him sometime earlier. So what do I do? Do I have to give up my reusable bag till it gets unreusable? And now you're going to force me to buy a clear plastic bag? I'm not going to do that. You know, you guys ask enough money from me for everything else to run the town. I don't need the expense of a clear plastic bag. I went to the dump Friday before last, and TJ, I know him through another association by chance, and there was nobody there, and you know, he kind of greeted me, and I took my grain bag, and I dumped it. You know, I said, well, follow me. I said, you can see what's in, you know, what goes in there. Of course, it'd be kind of late once it's in there. But I dumped it in, and sure enough, there was a bang, you know, from my bag into the hopper from the side of the, yeah. Well, fortunately, I said, gee, I didn't know what that was. So I looked in there, he looked in there, and it was a baseball that we had thrown away. We're cleaning out. And it's probably a baseball from when I was a kid. But fortunately, it was right on top there, okay? So they can see everything that I throw away. I don't need a clear plastic bag. I don't need to buy bags. Well, I understand, you know, the recycling, and you hear glass in there, you hear cans in there. I understand that. I mean, it's up to those people to make their, you know, to change their habits, I guess. But what has been part of the conversation in the past, and I haven't heard it once this year, this cycle of conversation, the high school. The way school is different, okay? I don't think the high school has changed. Does the high school still bring in a pickup, not a pickup, but a one-ton dump truck?
Yes.
Do they have clear plastic bags? What does a...
Clear plastic bags yet.
Pardon me?
Nobody has clear plastic bags yet.
Okay.
The recommendation was at the end of this year.
Okay, all right.
The answer is no.
But even up to today, all right, and over the number of years with the high school, all right, what approach has been to the high school? What do they recycle? You know, do they throw the aluminum cans in? Do they throw if they have glass bottles, maybe the kids bring in, glass bottles of drink and they finish up and it goes into the trash? It'd be interesting to see what the high school does to help eliminate recyclables going into the trash once they dump their truck.
You'd be happy to know that that's already a topic of conversation.
I would be happy to know. I'll keep it here. And it's too bad, like I said, I think the middle school, the other schools are different because I think they have containers.
They have dumpsters.
So they're dumpsters, okay. But it's a high school, They're probably the worst offender, all right? And look at, I'm getting a double whammy because I'm paying to get rid of their trash, all right, through the town, and I'm paying the school tax. So that's my concern, really the high school. And again, getting back to, my trash bag, what are you going to dictate to the people if you keep the clear plastic? What are you going to dictate to the people that have the 32-gallon trash cans? You always see once in a while, you see a cover on the side of the road as they leave. But so you're going to say, no, get rid of, can't pan it, you can't dump, because you don't have a clear plastic bag, although you can see everything that goes in there, the way I do it, and with the trash containers. No, you can't do that anymore. You got to have a clear bag so we can see. Well, you can come and watch me and, see exactly what's in there. Like I say, it's a little bit too late once it's in there, but still, the people could be if they violate, in a sense, they can be, educated. So, I appreciate your amendment, and I hope it passes.
Thanks, Frank. Anybody else wish to talk?
Can I ask a question?
Let's Killian go first, because you've already spoken.
If she has a quick one.
It's just a quick question about something Frank said.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, Caitlin, 9300, about the high school trash. So a chunk of those students are Henniker students.
We're looking at it.
Okay, so you're going to make sure.
No,
that-
we're looking at it.
Okay.
I can't make sure of anything.
Okay, please make sure that Henniker students' trash isn't going to the Ware transfer station.
Bigger issue. Different corporations, so we have an issue of monies.
Anybody else?
You're on, Kelly.
All right, here we go. All right, Killian Donnelly, 65 North Stark, also the owner of K&R Disposal. I want to right off the bat say something kind of rebuttal what the chairman said just a minute ago about my competitors don't use the transfer station. But they had every right to. It wasn't a hidden permit. It was right online. They can go down, but that's how they run their business, is their business, not mine. It was offered from the town. I follow all the rules and regulations. Jason, I don't think we've had any issues. Guys up there haven't told me anything. So yeah, I think clear plastic bags, I think the easiest thing to do, and maybe take a little heat off you guys, put it out to vote. Let the voters decide. Let them decide and say, hey, do you think we should use clear plastic bags? And that'll get you really what the taxpayers want to do. And that gives you also better time to get more information on clear plastic bags, more factual numbers, and all that. I think that would just be simpler, and it kind of takes the blame, if you do clear plastic bags, off of you guys, because it was what the voters wanted. As it comes from the commercial haulers, I appreciate the support from the people that have supported me and came up and said stuff. We do specifically our other towns on days that the Ware transfer station is not open. And we do that for that. That's how I've done it since I first started the route, just in case I did go into other towns. The high school was brought up. You said you guys were looking into that. The plastic, I think that, it was Mr. Dickinson was looking for more factual numbers on that. I think, I don't know what Jason spent on rebuilding that baler, but obviously, right, just like in any business, that's a little bit of a negative. So you got to recoup that money. Then you get your hours, and this is just for recycling the plastic. So how long from when we start it do we recoup our money from the rebuild of the baler and the man hours up there, per se, and if we have to hire another employee up there, is it worth it altogether? And I think maybe not making a decision tonight or something, I think letting Jason maybe put a PowerPoint together and kind of get all those numbers and do another whole presentation, which I know it's kind of a pain for you guys, but I think that would be, yeah, no, I think that would be good. Last meeting, you said we were $10,000 in the plus on the overall town budget. I think was the, not anymore.
That was 3 weeks ago.
So, you're asking department heads, committees and stuff, the, PD hopping in, 2 in a cruiser and all that stuff. This is a little off the topic, but you brought up the budget, so I think it kind of is on topic. You brought up, you made a motion, I think it was last meeting, to have MRI do a study at the fire department of why we don't have anybody applying there.
You're a little off base. This is a public hearing.
Yes, but I'd like to say that the chairman did bring up the budget, and he did make a statement about that in this public hearing, so I am responding to that. It's really quick.
That'd be public comment, not this hearing.
Okay, I'll wait till public comment. Is public comment coming back around, because I know we had cut.
Not tonight.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. And we were just talking about wasting tax dollars, and I figured I'd bring that up, but that's okay. Overall, the guys up there at the transfer station are doing pretty good. And I think a big thing that is missing, and I brought it up the very first meeting I came, is the steel. That is something that you can get revenue in far faster than the plastic. The less, you don't have to go out and buy another metal dumpster right away. You can do it in Gaylords, which 95% of the scrap yards around here, and I'm sure through NRRA, will give you Gaylords and just say, hey, if you fill out this Gaylord, it's our Gaylord, so that metal's going to come to us. That's how a lot of the scrap yards work.
You mean segregated ahead of time?
Yeah, so, right, you had brought up in a couple meetings before that small propane tanks were going in there. They were, I think, dinging you for 500, I think is what they dinged on it per load. If you had the employees at the beginning or the end of a day load that dumpster and organize from number 1, and I gave you guys all a price sheet from the scrapyard, you would have less times that dumpster's being hauled out, and when you do haul it out, it's more valuable. And when the Gaylords can be hauled behind a trailer in a 1-ton or in a 1-ton truck, and you don't have to have Sizemore come in and haul a big dumpster, reducing that, and that's more money into the town and more money into that revenue fund. And I don't have exact numbers, but I can guarantee it's going to make you a whole hell of a lot more money than the plastics. And I think it's something that we could do now that really wouldn't cost that much more. And I don't know like numbers and facts, but it's an idea, and I think that
We'd
because
ask
it's
Jason to do that trade-off, because he has a finite number of hours a week on his personnel.
Yep.
And see if that's really a trade-off. I don't have any idea.
Okay, but I just wanted to bring that up again and say, hey, this is something that could be starting next month and start getting more revenue in, and,
When you say Gaylord, so those are a type
Those-
of a 2-yard?
4x4x4.
yeah, they're on like a pallet,
Yeah, like a steel bin.
Okay.
like that, but most of them are cardboard, but I'm sure if you get with NRRA, they'll deliver the metal ones, and you can move them around with the forklift and all that. I think that's a good source of revenue for the town. But I think commercial haulers, we absolutely should stay. Not just because it's my business, but we reduce traffic down there. We, we're out in the community, we're seeing stuff, we're picking up the blue bags when the people do the litter stuff. I always tell my guys, don't drive by one of those blue bags, stop, pick it up, throw it in. I don't think, I don't believe we're costing the town any money. We are strictly just the taxi service. We are the Uber Eats of trash, is the best way to put it, is the best analogy I can put it. The taxpayers pay taxes to have their trash hauled off. How it gets there, if it gets there on a tricycle, or it gets there in my box truck, or my dump trailer, don't really think that that should matter. They're paying that $10 for me to leave my house, go to their house, load up my truck, and drive it there.
Kelly, I asked the other gentleman this before, and I'll ask you the same question. How do you and your crew enforce the recycling of policies of the town as a commercial hauler, which you've signed
So
up to?
when people sign up, we let them know. If they have any questions, we direct them to the town website and say, hey, like, this is what they want. When we pull up, we offload our cardboard first thing, and all of the recyclable bags are right at the tail, so that way we can do that. And then most of the time, the gentlemen up there say, yep, you're good, we're good, we go in, we dump, and we're out of there.
So your customer base, I'll call it, is fairly good at what we
Yep.
have been doing up till now, which again
Yes,
was
and-
the removal of plastics in COVID time, but
Yeah, and all that, and I also,
glass and everything like that. It's been-
I also want to say it was, I would almost say, easier to do plastic pre-COVID because nobody was doing that much online shopping. And I feel like everyone's doing online shopping now, every household. So that, they're busy enough with that cardboard. Adding plastic in there, I think, I'm glad they're starting out with just one if you guys do decide. But I think you're gonna run into manpower issues even with that.
I asked a question.
Yeah.
You do cardboard.
Yep.
You have a separate bin where you have aluminum cans? And then
Yeah, they
separate-
come recyclable, yeah, so they'll put all the recyclables in a bag. And then we take the bag, and we go over,
Who rips them apart?
usually my guys.
Oh, okay. Just trying to.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
single- So you pick up single stream.
Loose?
Single stream,
Single
loose
stream.
one bag, and then you go.
Everything's
Yeah,
all, yeah,
yep.
everything's all in the
And then
bag.
my guys spend 20 minutes up there
So I just-
Okay.
breaking it apart and putting stuff where it needs to go and all that.
Question, do they use a different bag?
No, but when we
You got
pick it up,
21
and
bags,
we pick it up
you
and it's
know?
all glass and aluminum, we're like, oh, yep, that's recycling, and they put it off to the side. Yep, yeah. I'm just trying to think of what else. I really want to hound on that what other businesses do is not my business, and it's not the town's business. I think the statements of subsidizing my profits, I think those are completely false. And a little disappointing because I'm just doing the same thing.
My personal opinion.
Your personal opinion, and I have my personal opinions. You know, but when you say it in a meeting and it's informed and the public's here, and you're promoting other businesses and they don't go there and they don't use us, they don't cost you more tax dollars, which you did say it. It's marked in the YouTube, it's, people can go back and watch it. You know, that isn't really too good and, you know, for anybody, I don't think. And I don't think that that's fair for you to make assumptions and statements about my business because other haulers go somewhere else.
Okay.
And that I'm costing the town, at first you started out at 76,000, and then we went down to 30, and then we're on at 25 or whatever the last number is. Yep, what was that?
Can we move on?
Bruce, sure.
Do you have any other topics to talk about?
Nope, I think I got it pretty clear. I mean, I would highly suggest I like Ben's motion, I say put it as a warrant article, makes it a lot easier, and you get truly what the town wants to do. So, that's all I got.
Yep.
Anybody else wish to speak on this?
Just one quick question. Follow up on his, Kelly and stuff, right? Have we, there's money in every business. Have we brought in somebody to look at our whole operation? You know, that's, and that, not like, we don't need a consultant, we need a guy that drives the truck. He knows where things go, where the money's made, and, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Part of the issue was, trying to resolve was Jason looking at other transfer stations and seeking those inputs from people to help us.
Yeah, I mean, you got Goffstown, New Boston, you got everybody around here.
Hillsborough.
Right, Hillsborough, Henniker, right, everybody's kind of in the same situation. No town has a lot of money left over, so they're all trying
Make
to,
a point. This is a pause to do commercial haulers, on commercial haulers, until we come up with this information from Jason. That's how this was done. We put it as a pause, and,
no, but I'm saying is if we bring in somebody that may understand,
sure.
he's the road agent, he's got his hands full
I
already.
know, but he's the guy that's
And
gonna end up doing this. I mean,
No, I get that whole thing,
if
right?
you know of a name of somebody we can talk to, I'm just saying, I don't know of anybody.
No, I'm saying there's people out there that are in the trash business, and you may know them or can work. I mean, there's somebody out there that can look at the whole system and say, hey, you know what, if you didn't do this and you did this, you may be able to make some money. And I think we owe that to the taxpayer to look at that before we start going off on, you know, I understand your budget situation, all the other stuff, but you need to look at all the avenues, and I realize that his plate's full. He's got enough stuff to do, and,
He's got a full-time job already. He has a full-time job already.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, there are, I mean, I don't know, you know, maybe I could look at something or talk to somebody that knows somebody about the trash business, and there are, I'm sure you could look at it and say, there's more money to be made. Killian had a good idea, separating out the metals. I know metals are valued according to their type of metal, so just thought.
Thank you.
Yep.
I saw another hand here. No, I didn't see, oh,
Yeah, you
yes,
did.
sir.
Kurt Markarian, 425 Reservoir Drive. Just a couple of comments. One, Jason, thank you for putting this together. What I'd like to see, though, is pre-COVID, you know, what were the numbers then? And also a comparison, I know you'd mentioned it, but what are the comparisons to the other towns in the area so that it's apples to apples at that point? Because that way, it'll give the taxpayers here a much better understanding of, you know, where the money's going and how it's being used versus it going out of town. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to speak on the public hearing?
Yeah, I got 9 things that, we all got like 9 emails that I was asked to read into the minutes, so it's gonna take a minute.
Yep, please do.
The first one is from Jeff Tinker. He was evidently out there and said that, I don't have his address, I'll find it. He's opposed to clear bags and the banning of commercial trash haulers. That was one. Second one, and I'm going in order in how you got these. This is from a Cynthia Grenier. I don't have her address either. It says, "Dear members of the Board of Selectmen, after watching last night's meeting regarding the transfer station," now, mind you, this is Tuesday, May 19th. This is last meeting. "And the discussion surrounding commercial haulers, I'd like to share the following. 1, to accurately determine potential savings, we would need to suspend commercial hauling for 1 year and subsequently review the actual data. 2, there's currently no reliable way to verify that all trash brought in by commercial haulers originates in Ware. A hauler could collect waste from neighboring towns and dispose of it at our taxpayers' expense. Because this cannot be verified, I believe commercial hauling should be discontinued, similar to the policy in New Boston. Additionally, I'd like to address the comparison made between commercial hauling and taxes for schools or ambulance service. While a taxpayer may not currently have a child in the school or require an ambulance, there are essential community services available to all residents. In contrast, allowing a commercial hauler to use a transfer station easily subsidizes a private business. Residents pay for the operation of the transfer station for their own use, not to support a private business model. If you allow one commercial hauler, what's the potential cost to the town if more haulers begin using our transfer station? Without a method to verify that trash is coming specifically from where, it seems impossible to manage this without someone following haulers to ensure compliance. I appreciate the efforts of Jack Dearborn and Jason Fisk to save taxpayers money. Thank you, Cynthia Grenier." Move on to a second one that came in shortly after from Cynthia Grenier. Said, "Dear members, board members, I'm writing to add a further point to my previous email regarding commercial haulers. Killian argues that allowing him to haul commercial trash to our transfer station saves his customers money by him avoiding higher fees at Naughton and Sons, which enables him to charge Ware residents only $10 a week. However, trash pickup is a luxury service for those who choose to pay for it. The cost of this service should not be subsidized by taxpayers who choose to bring their own trash to the transfer station rather than using a private service. Finally, I would ask if any current board members of this board use K&R disposal. Thank you for your time. Cynthia Grenier.
No.
No.
No, I was gonna say, I don't think so.
All right. The next one says, Dear Board of Selectmen, I'm a tax-paying resident of Ware, and I'm not able to attend the public hearing. I'd like to register my opposition to mandating clear trash bags. I follow the recycling rules and safety rules about not throwing out lithium batteries. I should not be penalized. If Ware is still transferring trash to the incinerator, then I am okay with not recycling plastic because the incinerator makes energy and filters out toxins, and the plastic does not end up in a landfill. Thank you, Nicole Herbst. Next one's a little bit longer. This is from Dear Select Board members, attached are questions and comments relative to the solid waste ordinance public hearing. Please enter these into the meeting minutes. If possible, please provide answers to the 7 questions if the data is available at the hearing. If not, please provide a time frame when we'll be able to provide answers. Unfortunately, due to other commitments, I will not be able to attend the session. Feel free to contact me if you need additional details. Thank you, Jim Franciscovich, 115 Grandview. Question 1 was, what's the object of the proposed change? Question 2 is, what's the end state the board is looking to achieve? 3, what is the data trend on recycling tonnage, glass, aluminum, cardboard, paper? 4, can the board expand on the factual data that it's used to making decisions? If the data is not available, has the board established a process and timeline to gather the data? 5, where does the town stand relative to adjacent towns? 6, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using clear bags? 7, what is the expected concept of operations, i.e. will a staffing monitor be required? Are punitive measures being considered? And then he just put in the town of Ware from the town report, the actual report for Jason had for the recyclables and the trash.
No.
Yes.
Can you reply back to him with a link to this meeting? All those questions have been answered.
Okay, yep, I can do that. Next one is, Dear Board members, please read this email during public comment. Unless clear bags are provided to the taxpayers for free or at the lowest possible price directly compared to the other trash bags offerings at Walmart, BJ's, Amazon, or similar discount retailer, this should not be a mandate issue. Aside from violating the free choice nature of capitalism, this would be an unfair expectation on the townspeople. I'm very happy to hear that plastic is planned to be recycled again, and that in itself may solve some of the issue. If town folks are having trouble recycling other items, perhaps offering some bins for sale at the transfer station would benefit some. I'm not sure how to encourage those that do not currently recycle aluminum, tin, cardboard, or paper to do so, but putting a clear bag mandate on everyone is not the way to do it. Please do not put this policy in place. Thank you for your time. Mark Payer, 156 Lowell Road. Sorry, tongue-tied. The next one says, please accept my input on anything to do with clear bags and private trash haulers. No and no. If the town's going to give away these bags and if the town's going to pick up trash at the curb, then I might be interested, but otherwise absolutely not. That was from Rick Bond. I don't have his address, but I can find it. This one's in a lot larger writing, so I can see it. Dear members of the Board of Selectmen, I'm writing to you today as a resident of Ware to formally voice my opposition to the policy mandating the use of clear plastic trash bags for household waste disposal. While I fully understand and share the board's desire to maximize waste diversion and enforce recycling rules, the transition to clear bags introduces a significant privacy issue and financial burden without providing clear, empirical benefits. My primary concern with this mandate is the fundamental lack of data supporting it. To my knowledge, the town has not produced documented evidence or public metrics proving that a substantial volume of recycled material is actively being thrown into the standard household trash stream by residents. Implementing a restrictive town-wide mandate based on anecdotal observation places an unfair burden on compliant households. Instead of enforcing a visual inspection policy that compromises residential privacy, I respectfully request that the town conduct a formal waste characterization assessment by testing a representative sample of the current standard trash bags brought to the facility over a designated period. The town can accurately measure the actual percentage of recycled material ending up in the waste stream. Gathering hard data first will help the town make an informed decision. If a verifiable issue exists, we can address it through targeted community education rather than an intrusive clear bag policy. Thank you for your time, consideration, and continued service to the town of Ware. I look forward to your response regarding a potential waste audit. Sincerely, Justin Starr, 67 Pondview Road, Pleasant Pond Road in Ware. Got a couple more, sorry. Dear to the Ware Board of Selectmen, we're unable to make the meeting tonight, but wanted to request you remove the mandate for clear bags for household trash. Clear bags are unnecessary for many reasons. One, people have known about recycling programs for a long time. If someone isn't recycling by now, a clear trash bag is not going to change that. They will just find other ways to get rid of it. If someone looked through our trash, it would appear we don't recycle. We collect separate barrels of paper, plastic, glass, and metal to bring in when they are full. I assume many residents do the same. Two, we do not need our transfer station employees having to police bag color. We have a hard time finding quality workers, and we doubt we want to be adding to their job description. On a positive note, the transfer station looks amazing. The new person in charge has transformed the place. Three, how would the employees be able to tell what number plastics are in someone's trash? We have a hard enough time trying to read the small recycle symbol to determine if we can recycle it, so it's impossible for an employee to see the number. Four, no one wants to see what's inside other people's trash. Trash is unsightly and sometimes personal, which would make things even more uncomfortable for the employees. If there is an issue with commercial haulers not collecting separate recycling from their customers, then please come up with a better plan specific to that situation and don't make things more difficult on the resident taxpayers in Ware. Thank you for your service to the town. Charlie and Joy Bowen, 48 Wallingford Terrace. 31. That's how many people spoke tonight. Dear Board of Selectmen, I'd like to address the board regarding the proposed changes to the solid waste ordinance being discussed tonight. Please consider banning commercial haulers from our taxpayer-funded transfer station. My concerns are as follows. One, there's currently no reliable way to verify all the trash brought to the transfer station by commercial haulers is strictly coming from Ware residents. Two, is the annual permit fee enough to cover the volume of trash being disposed of, including the wear and tear on equipment and the cost of hauling the trash away? Three, residents of Ware who currently use private trash pickup services will likely continue to do so regardless. Any savings with limiting commercial use on the transfer station could offset costs elsewhere, including providing raises for transfer station employees and supporting other town needs. Thank you for your time and consideration, Cynthia Grenier. Now I'm down to my last one, so. Good evening, Select Board and fellow residents. My name is Christy. And I've been a Ware resident for 20 years. I am emailing tonight to respectfully oppose the proposed requiring residents to use clear garbage bags. I have several serious concerns. One, privacy and dignity. Clear bags could dispose personal and sensitive items such as medical waste, hygiene products, financial documents, and other private family matters to neighbors, passerbyers, and even at the transfer station, and everyone at the transfer station. It feels like an unnecessary invasion of privacy and personal dignity. Two, added cost and practical burden. Many residents will now have to buy specific clear bags, adding an extra expense. In my experience, clear bags are often less durable than the standard heavy-duty bags and can be more prone to tearing or leaking. Three, enforcement and operational issues. Requiring staff to inspect every bag will slow down operations at the transfer station, create disputes, and likely lead to inconsistent enforcement. Residents with bags who are injected will face extra trips and frustration. Impact on private haulers and working residents. Several local private haulers operate in Ware. They employ local people, pay taxes, and provide a vital service. Many of us rely on them because of the work schedules or other circumstances prevent us from using the transfer station during open hours. This change could negatively affect those businesses and the residents who depend on them. I urge the board to reconsider this mandate. There are better ways to improve recycling and waste sorting, such as education, incentives, or voluntary programs, without compromising residents' privacy or adding burdens. Thank you for your time and considering the concerns of long-term residents. Christy, I. That's it.
Real quick, I just want to make one quick statement, if you let me. Thank you. Killian, 65 North Stark. New Boston does allow commercial haulers, and I do have their contract currently in my hand. So I just wanted to state that, and same thing with Hillsborough. Most surrounding towns do, so. Thank you.
But you didn't read the pieces that are different. There's other things in there that
Oh,
way
yeah,
in,
there's some
way out.
things that are
Yeah.
different,
Right.
but
It's
I
not
just wanted to state that.
Right, they do,
It was
but
stated.
It was stated that they don't.
it's
make
not
it.
carte
And,
blanche.
yeah.
Right. Thank you. Anybody else before we close the public hearing? Another time? One more shot? At this point, I'm going to close the public hearing.
And
Everybody out there know we're closing the public hearing?
Yep, thumbs
Thank
up
you.
out there.
Chair,
Yes.
hearing what we've heard tonight, I would like to reiterate my motion and state again that I move to remove section 5.4, clear translucent bags shall be used effective 1/1/2027 for all residential trash without recyclables. I'd like to strike that from the draft.
And I'll affirm my second.
Back to discussion. I don't think there's anything hurt, because between now and 12/31, when it becomes effective, we can spend a little time with Jason going through this, and he may come back with his own recommendation to kill it. Okay? I just think it's premature.
I don't think it's premature. I think it's pretty clear
That's
that
my
the
opinion.
town doesn't want it,
My
and I
opinion,
think it's something that we can do without.
I'm looking to have Jason come back. He made the recommendation, and should give him some time to go consider it. I mean,
And I
just
think
one
we should
vote.
listen to the townspeople. We've gotten 32, 33 different letters and comments, which I think is a pretty good representation of the town,
We'll take a vote.
that they don't want it.
And I also agree with Benson too, is, again, we've heard a lot of no. I appreciate Jason's idea and diligence on it, but if the taxpayers don't want to do it, they're the ones that put us in here, and we have to voice what they want, so.
I would just say,
And
there's a lot of people who want.
And I do agree with you, Jack. We do have time to figure out what to do, but bags, clear bags, is not gonna be the answer. So let's take that time from now until December 31st to figure out what it is we're gonna do.
And gather data.
But it shouldn't be clear bags.
I'm just saying. Bruce, do you have anything to say?
I kind of like the idea of putting on the warrant, let the voters vote whether to go to clear bags or not.
So, we've had a discussion. Anybody else on the board wish to speak anything different, more? Let's just call a vote, and we'll go by the vote. All those in favor? The
In favor of the motion?
Yes.
To strike it?
Yes.
Aye.
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 Okay, no, 3 carries, is stricken.
Okay.
That was easy. All right? We're officially done for the, so we're gonna move on. We're moving on to Parks and Rec.
Where are we at with the commercial haulers?
Chair, can I just make a point of order here? We should be moving on to Parks and Rec, but we never got to the
Neil.
250th
Yeah, and he
anniversary.
actually was the one that came when you made your first motion, I didn't hear you. He came and said he had something else to do, he wanted to go on to the
I thought Neil
22nd.
was doing it.
No, he wanted to come back on the 22nd.
Okay, that's fine.
No, that's why I didn't hear you first.
So
I withdraw the point.
where are we at with the commercial haulers?
That wasn't just,
I still think it's gonna be for Jason to come back and tell us the information. I mean, God almighty.
and I'm fine with that.
So we're in pause mode again, we're still on hold.
Well, yeah, so we haven't
The only
taken it
thing
off
on the
the
agenda
table yet.
tonight was the public hearing.
So the
All right.
draft says,
Not to approve a draft. or-
commercial haulers without a permit are not allowed.
Okay.
And no new commercial hauls will be issued a
But
permit,
this draft is not in effect yet.
correct?
Thank you. That's all I need to know.
That's not true. We paused it. That's what we did.
But we haven't voted on this revision.
No, we have not.
Right. So this,
It's like the, don't get me wrong, Naomi, but if we pause something, it's like coming up with a zoning amendment, or it's there until we turn it down, or, is that correct?
You guys paused it, so what does pause mean? Stop, right?
We paused issuing permits, issuing new permits.
Correct.
That's still in effect.
Not killing.
New permits.
new permits.
That
We-
was
we
your,
didn't
that was
pause.
your whole intent of this, was to pause to get your stuff together.
We didn't pause any existing issued permits, it was just,
No. Killian's goes till the end of his permit cycle.
Correct.
Only new ones we're pausing.
Correct. Yeah, but that doesn't address Mr. Silver who was here.
Maybe I'm having a moment of amnesia. Did we vote on that?
Vote on what?
Did we actually vote to pause?
I believe we voted for these two issues.
You voted to put both of these before the public hearing.
Correct, but did we actually vote to pause the haulers? I just can't remember.
Check the meetings.
I'm not gonna check the meeting, it's just,
I know we were gonna add this language.
Commercial haulers without a permit are not allowed. No new commercial haulers will be issued a permit. Those are the two things you asked about with the clear bags
draft.
for today.
Correct, in the draft.
Right, but
That
your
we haven't
your
voted on.
reasoning for, which is posted on the website, was to pause. The intent of your motion, your intent of your two suggestions was to pause it to gather more information.
Right. And we have now gathered some.
Correct.
We're gonna gather more.
Right?
But are we officially holding the statement of we are pausing and not accepting any new commercial haulers?
Well, I think that's for you guys to
That's-
decide
well,
that.
that's
It's not
my
my
question.
choice.
I don't think we've taken official stand on that yet. I don't remember doing that. We discussed it. I think we may have verbally agreed on it, but we didn't actually make a vote on it.
No, because at the end of your meeting, you just said it's the intent of the board to pause commercial hauling beyond the existing permits and look at best practices and reissue commercial hauler permits in the near future. That wasn't a motion, that was the intent of your discussion to get us to where we are tonight.
Correct. That was to bridge the gap to tonight.
To tonight.
So are you making a motion?
Am I making a motion? No, I am not making a motion. I'm just clarifying where we're at with it. Because we have a gentleman that's in the crowd that said he's put his permit in, we haven't cashed his check yet.
I do have a question. Mine went in April 13th.
That's the date, that was the date?
Yes, because I
Okay.
wrote a check.
Okay.
You have the check.
But that was,
My question is, if this all transpired during May, I had my permit in before that.
so
As far as I'm
the
concerned.
timeline, that's where I just wanna make sure.
That would be considered a new permit, in my mind.
It's a new
That's an
permit.
existing permit. Whether or not we cash the check is irrelevant.
You can verify what the date is on the check that you have.
We didn't cash the check, did we?
That's what he's saying. He hasn't been
Right.
cashed.
He applied for it, right, he
But he
applied
applied-
for his
he applied
As
permit.
far as I'm concerned, that's an existing permit, and you're covered.
there was an application, there was a permit was never issued.
Semantics.
I did what was required.
He submitted his application. That's not a new application, that's an existing application.
I went and saw Jason.
Don't applications have to be approved by the body?
No,
No. No.
no, Jason approved the K and R, right, Jason? Yeah, Jason approved K and R.
Did you approve that one?
And no, I think it's the administrative assistant up there that was taking track of the transfer station. When you went up and got your stickers, she was stationed up there in April, because that's when we started the new sticker program. So she signed the application, we just didn't cash the check.
Just so we're clear, public hearing's closed. We're
Well-
having a conversation amongst the board.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're just trying to figure out where he is,
Okay.
because it hasn't been cashed, but there was, is it new, is it not new? There's no permit that's been issued, you didn't issue Killian a permit, you just signed off on it, or not, not you. The designee signed off, we have a designee,
Correct.
doesn't have to come back to you, that was the whole idea of it.
I think in the spirit of the permitting process, it's an existing application, it's an existing permit. It's not it should be, cash the check and give the man his permit,
There isn't a permit to give,
or whatever.
we don't issue, there's no sticker.
We're going to allow it.
Okay, he needs a sticker,
It's
there's a different color sticker.
It's real kind of simple. What is our practice for approving these?
Well, it says,
No, what's the practice for doing?
So you come in, you fill out an application, right? You bring your check,
Okay.
and it's signed by a town designee, you've signed it, they've signed it, and they issue you $250 check.
Who is the town designee?
Jason?
I believe it's Jason.
Have you signed this, Jason?
I did not sign it.
He didn't sign it.
So I'm just trying to be very,
Another employee signed it.
I just want to be very simplistic. Who's the agent who signed this? Is Jason. Hasn't signed it yet.
Another
just wanna
employee
be
has
clear.
signed it, though. Another employee has signed it and put his plate numbers on it.
But he's the guy who's responsible.
I'm not arguing either way, I'm just saying, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
So,
Well, Jason, can I ask you, is there a reason to deny it?
Does he meet all the qualifications?
As long as he comes in and recycles, I got no problem with it. As
That's
long
what you're gonna do?
As long as the trash is generated in the town of Ware.
We don't go anywhere but our campground.
No, that's just, it was brought.
Yeah, that's good.
Please, thank you.
So it was brought up earlier, I can't remember who said it, maybe it was Miss Bloom. You know, if somebody comes into the town of Ware from Henniker and they have a Dunkin's cup, they drink that coffee in the town of Ware, it's trash, it was generated in the town of Ware. Unfortunately, it's like, you go shopping at Market Basket in Concord. All that stuff you bring home, you generate that trash in the town of Ware. So, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, if the campground, those guys are coming up from Massachusetts, whatever. As long as the trash, they drink a beer at the campground in the town of Ware, as long as it's made here, that's fine. So, just a clarification.
so why don't we just be really clear here? Since the board doesn't get involved in these permits, then we should let the permitting agent make that decision without the pressure of the board. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what the rules are.
But I think that the current one that we have in limbo is the only one that's gonna be in limbo because we're looking to make this revision.
Right, but I'm just trying to say, probably not appropriate for the board to make the decision, it's probably appropriate.
I agree.
For Jason to do it.
And I
On
can
this
agree with that
particular
too.
one.
I agree.
I agree, yeah.
But we have said no new commercial
Right.
haulers.
But we're doing this.
Correct.
So for the purposes of this, it's my determination that if there was any permits applied for and paid for before this,
But I just want
Which
to
is
say.
still not in place.
I still say it's Jason's business.
yeah, that's up to Jason to decide, but
And we're good with that.
if it was
I'm good
done
with this
before
decision.
this, it should be considered
Yeah.
current and not new. It should be existing.
New past this revision.
But-
It's not considered new past this revision because he had his application check-in before this. Correct. No,
That's all I'm saying.
yep, and
Make your determination, do whatever you need to do, but as far as I'm concerned, it should be considered.
I agree with Benson.
Friendly advice from the board, you make your decision based on your criteria, you make them, and we'll live with it.
And the date of application.
Yeah, I mean, that's for you, I mean, if you think it's okay, it's fine. If they're gonna
Okay.
meet the recycling.
Again, as long as they recycle.
So are you gonna adopt the changed amendment? Are you gonna adopt your
This is the
ordinance?
only amendment in the whole ordinance right now.
Right now is the no new commercial hauler, so you're gonna accept it for now and then gather your data?
That was the
I think that's the
intent,
play.
and I'd like to do that.
I think that makes sense.
I think that's the play and that's correct.
So do we have a motion for doing that?
So
Clean it
moved.
up?
Second.
So moved then. Okay, discussion?
So my motion is to add the line to 3.2 in the solid waste ordinance at the end that commercial haulers without a permit are not allowed. No new commercial haulers will be issued a permit.
Second, Basin? That's it.
That's my second.
Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, yes. 4-0-0.
Okay. Thank you. Maybe we can go to the next one.
I think are we done?
We're at the next one. That's where.
Dare I say Parks and Recs?
Think so?
Okay, anybody who wishes to hear the Parks and Recs, you wishing to stay? If you want to just stay, you wish to stay?
We won't kick you out.
Gentlemen, I got some copies.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, before we start, if we could just have a minute.
That's up to them.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you can stay.
It's public.
You can stay and watch.
Everybody should
There'll be no
stay.
comment.
Yeah.
No talking.
Okay, yeah, we just need to, yeah, you can stay. Our meeting's always open.
Okay, thank you. I asked Beth to be here tonight in case we had any questions on the budget that we may talk about. I also want to just say up front, I am very grateful and thankful for the professionalism that Parks and Rec Committee and the director for Parks and Recs showed here. They understood the issue, and we had several discussions with the board. We had at the board with Beth. They had discussions in terms of understanding the budget. So I really appreciate their efforts they put in, and I just wanted to make note of that. And Naomi, and I want to also say, there was some confusion at the very start of all this. Do we or do we not own the Clough Park? And there was people correctly saying, temporarily, not correct, but correctly saying once upon a time, like 1941, Clough Park was leased for $1 a year.
Chase.
What?
Chase Park.
Chase Park.
Chase, not Clough.
Did I say Clough?
It's all good.
So, thank you. Chase Park. We had town council do the deed research, and it was pretty obvious it was a deed for 1944 for the same people that set up the lease for $1 a year. Finally said in 44, the heck with it, give us $1, we'll give it to you for $1 to the select board. So we own it. And there's also a little proviso both in the lease and both in the actual deed that we got that says, should we discontinue the use of this land as a park? It goes back to the original owners, just full disclosure. So when Naomi and I spoke with town council on this subject, we didn't know what we were going to do, if we were going to shut it down completely, some days, just curtail the times, hours of the day. Excuse me. He asked that we make a statement of why we're doing this, so that it's in the record, why we're adjusting the hours, so somebody can't come back and challenge, why did we do it? So Naomi has put together a paragraph, which I want to ask her to read. Thank you.
The select board's decision to reduce hours at Chase Park is a direct result of operating under a default budget. Under a default budget, the town's spending authority is limited, requiring us to prioritize essential municipal services and statutory obligations. Our foremost responsibility is to ensure that critical public health, safety, welfare, and infrastructure functions, such as fire and EMS protection, police services, and public work operations, remain fully funded and capable of meeting community needs. The reduction of hours at Chase Park reflects these financial constraints and the board's responsibility to maintain critical municipal operations while remaining within the limits of the default budget.
Thank you. At this point, if you would like to make a presentation.
Sure.
Thank you.
One of the things I wanted to, we talked about this for a real quick second, I'm only gonna take about a minute for this. The conversation about the revolving fund. It keeps getting bounced around, we've talked about it again and again. I just wanted to go over the RSA again, the highlighted parts, so that everybody can try and understand. The RSA was approved via a warrant article in 2023. The RSA specifically, the warrant article specifically states, for the purpose of maintenance, improvements,
and or adding equipment, buildings, or grounds overseen by the Park and Rec Commission. Specifically says it is not to be considered part of the town's general fund balance or surplus. Also, because it does not specifically say that we can use this for operating expenses and wages, we cannot use that fund. All the monies that come into Chase Park go into this fund. So we are not able to use this to offset the wages. Therefore, we were not able to use it to offset the budget cuts. I just want to make sure that was clear.
It doesn't preclude the board and the town approving a change to that in the future.
Next year.
At town meeting.
But it has to be.
Can't do it this year.
It has, yeah. Yep. That is certainly something that could be brought up.
Thank you.
Like I said, just wanted to clear it up. So, Kristen, our Chase Park Supervisor and Park and Rec Director, I've stated before, she is the subject matter expert. She sat down, threw this proposal together. We feel this is really the best that we can come up with to meet everybody's needs. The budget needs, the towns, and the employees as well. That has to come into account. So I'll let Kristen go over it, and then any questions, it's all on her head, not mine.
So at the end of May, 2 of the select board members asked us to come close to 50 hours for opening. What you have in front of you tonight is a proposal that is Chase Park being open for a total of 54 hours, which is as close as I could come. It does have us open reduced hours on 4 days, fully open on 2 days, and closed 1 day. The way that we chose the 1 day that we would be closed was to look at our traffic over the last 3 years and choose the day which had the smallest number of people coming through the front gates.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah. Just looking at this, I'm super impressed with what you guys have done. You're open 6 days a week from at least 10 to 6 every day.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive. So, really good job. Thank you.
We've also
I'm
trimmed.
very impressed.
Thank you. We've also trimmed back on staffing during those hours that we were open.
That was going to be my next question.
We did hear tonight someone say that there were 3 people there doing a job that one could do. It is impossible to have one person there running the place safely and efficiently, tending to things like the restrooms and the trash and the general upkeep. And so on the first weekend that we were open, we put in 30 boats in 2 6-hour shifts. That is unsafe and not manageable for one person, and so for that opening weekend, I did have 3 people on staff. The other time of day where someone may see 3 people there is when our shifts back to back and there's changeover happening, because there is a period in which I let the people who are coming on know what they need to expect for the evening, as well as make schedules and get their requests and things like the managerial part of the job. So to that person's comments earlier, safety requires us to have 2, and during this, with the one exception of 4th of July, because we know that we won't be able to have a detail on that day, we will have 3 people staffed there.
This looks pretty good. I mean, I was worried about how many days you would be closed, so by only closing 1 day, and yeah, it's awful to be closed at all, and it's too bad that you can't be open earlier and later, but this seems super reasonable. I think most people would be happy with this, I would hope. I'm super, like I said, I'm super impressed. This looks good, real good.
Thank you.
If I could just add one point about the budget. Beth is already taking the decrease to the operating expenses to the bottom line. So the decrease in payroll will increase our reserve, if you will, from $1,000 to an additional $11,883 or whatever it is. So that's a positive. So we already took the 12,975 to the number of the 1,000. So this is going in the right direction, we appreciate it. And just, if people really, were motivated to ask, what would it cost if we close another day? It's $4,480 is what it'll equate to.
I think we're pretty much asking to
I know, I'm just
blood out
saying.
of a stone already by doing this.
I understand, I'm just making the point, should we go another day, it winds up being $4,480. Is it worth doing that, is the question.
Personally, I don't think so.
No.
Jeremy, you look for a motion for this or no?
So, one quick question. It says from June 19th to August 31st. What are you doing until June 19th?
June 19th, I work at Ware Middle School. And so all of my employees are
It's just the
still,
weekend? Are we doing weekends?
we're weekends right now.
Right, okay.
Because my staff is high school students and I'm,
One more weekend, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. And that's included in all these numbers?
Yes.
So any other questions for the board? Any more questions for the board? At this point, entertain a motion.
Move to accept the Chase Park hours of operation from June 19th to August 31st as presented.
Second?
Well, and the operational hours consecutive.
So you're gonna operate,
Because of the Labor Day weekend and
right, so you're gonna do the operation as presented for summer and fall?
that's the one.
Second.
Thank you. No further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. 400.
Much
That was
gratitude.
quick.
So-
Much gratitude, thank you.
Thank
guys.
you.
Matt,
Thank you.
I appreciate all the time you've
Yeah.
spent, I appreciate all the time Kristen has spent.
Correct,
It's
definitely.
not easy, we live it every day, but I appreciate trying to balance non-discretionary, and I think we've done it, and to come up with Tuesday being the less amount of traffic is another reasoning. It's not like we picked it out of the air, so, but you've spent a lot of time and effort, and you've done a great job at your meetings explaining that. Kristen's spent a great deal of time as well, but I want to thank the both of you for all that you've done to get us here.
And the committee.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I wanted
Sorry you
to,
had to wait late.
I wanted to say the same. You guys have been patient with us. We understand the budget issue. Jack spent some time with us to sit down so that we could kind of get a pre-look at this. And Beth, Naomi, you guys, we appreciate you at least sitting down and letting Kristen and I work through this so that we can keep Chase Park open. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.
Here, we got two department heads. Thank you, Beth.
He can go first. You're nice. Very long.
Okay,
Come on.
moving on to department heads.
Jason, he's gonna let you go first.
You're such a nice guy. Oh, no, come on.
Yes, sir.
I know what this is.
The bid. See the bottom line? Perfect.
Oh, yes.
Scale? Interested? Sure.
All right, we got an updated bid from Fairbanks. As you guys will remember, they were the only ones who bid last time. I did reach out to the other people that I emailed before. Still kind of no response from them. No, I guess we're just, their businesses are kind of just selling already made scales. They're not kind of in the business of doing what Fairbanks does and digging the pits and putting their scale together right at your facility. So
So, if, just so I get it straight, this is a turnkey, in other words, they're gonna provide you with a finished scale?
ready to go.
Thank you.
Yep. So it'll be, you know, how we had a little bit of clarification with the bid before. So we got this down to a 34-foot long by 10-foot scale. That should be enough capacity for what we need.
What capacity would this be? For the weight? Is this a 50 ton?
75 ton.
75-ton.
75.
Yep.
And would a 10-wheeler fit on there, certainly?
Yes. Yep.
Just a question about a couple things here. For the parts in here that are not to be installed by Fairbanks, are we doing that work?
So as far as the wiring for
Yeah, I'm looking.
just the building?
I'm looking at the remote display pole, just as an example.
Yep.
It says pole to be, I'm sorry, hold on.
Which line is that?
Where was it? It's
The
on,
first on the second page, on the back side.
conduit run by others. It says runs by others.
Mm-hmm.
I think they mean somebody else is gonna do that.
Ran, yep. Yes, we're gonna,
Conduit runs, he means multiple conduit. Well, either way, it looks like
Somebody else is
that's,
doing it.
looked like that's not part of the bid.
It's not.
So
highway's
who's
gonna
doing
run,
that?
highway's gonna run any extra
So we're gonna
work
do
that
it.
we need to do, yep.
It's gonna be
In-house,
in-house,
yep. We may have,
parts and all that.
we may have some money in conduit and wire, but,
Perfect, so.
yep.
Let me ask a really dumb question. This 178720,
Mm-hmm.
does that come off the 9991?
No,
So so if I added up all these numbers, does it come up to be, including that number 17872? Is it still 991, or is it?
if you added that 1,700, it would be additional on that final cost.
Okay.
So,
But we're gonna use a pole that we have at the shop, or we're gonna hook it on the side of the, brand new scale house.
so that's my question is obviously, I want the remote so that we don't have to have somebody out there in the scale house. They can be in the actual transfer station office, turn around, look and go, yep, there you are, right? Because I mean, having somebody go out there is pulling resources away from whatever. But with that question, the last page, do we need the printer and the ticket? Or do we just need the numbers?
No, I think we
Just
need,
a question. I mean, if we need,
I think you gotta print the ticket out. I mean, you gotta have
A record.
proof.
and that's fine, I'm just asking if that's a thought. Okay.
Print with the tickets, for sure.
Okay.
Let me follow up on my dumb question. Is this 178720, is if they did the work?
Yes.
Thank you. So you're taking this out of there and doing it yourself, am I correct?
Taking the option line out, yes. But it's not gonna come out of the bottom line of that number.
Okay, that's good.
So I guess my only other question is, you're good with this and you're confident we can do all of what we need to do and to make this work, right?
Yes.
All the outside stuff that it's not included in it.
There might be 1,000, 1,500 that'll have to come out of building maintenance for the transfer station,
Cool. Motion to
as
accept the
as
bid
far as conduit and stuff like that, but.
Second.
Any discussion?
Sorry to interrupt.
I think what Benson wanted to say was he's making a motion to accept quote 2026-69 from Fairbanks Scale for the transfer station scale. Am I right in saying that?
That's what I meant to say.
That's what I meant to say. And it came out as motion to accept.
And I still second it.
And,
Thank you.
okay, let me amend my motion.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept Fairbanks Scales quote 2026-69 in the amount of $99,991.70 with funds to be used from the
Transfer station
reserve fund,
recycling special revenue fund.
recycling special revenue fund.
Still second it.
That's what I meant to say the first time.
Yeah, and that sounds great.
Do we have any discussion?
No.
Being none? All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Opposed? No. 4-0-0.
6 weeks.
6 week.
Done.
Still operational?
6 week lead time on the scale. And I think 6 week lead time on scale, milestone 1, foundation construction, 30 days.
They can start that before the scale shows up, right?
Yep, so foundation construction due net 30 days from date of completion. Milestone 2, equipment due net 30 days from date of shipment. Milestone 3, installation due net 30 days from completion.
So 3 months.
So probably 3 months.
Very good. Is that all you had?
There was a question the last time I was here about some trees on Maplewald Road. I was able to reach out to the property owner, and he was agreeable to allow us to take down the trees that were in imminent danger of falling. So you will see those come down in the very near future. Highway Department is almost wrapped up with South Sugar as far as drainage, ditching work goes, so we will be out and about everywhere else very, very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
PD.
Thank you, Jason.
WPD. WPD.
Yeah, been a while. All right, so I'm going to start first with just an update on,
Chief, before you start.
Yes, sir.
Are you officially back now?
yes, I got
Welcome
released
back.
on Friday.
Thank
I'll still be limping, he said, up to a year, but it was a big bear. I won, that's all everybody needs to know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so this is going to be the 77 study completed by the state. Just as a reminder, Mr. Lambert, who's the State Highway Safety Administrator, completed a speed study for New Hampshire 77 in Ware. The 85th percentile measured for an area was northbound at 48 miles an hour and southbound at 49 miles an hour respectively. Ideally, the posted speed limit for rural highway should be within 5 miles an hour of the measured 85th percentile speed, which is what we discussed before. On June 5th, Mr. Lambert, the Highway Maintenance District 5 engineer, State Traffic Engineer, and Highway Safety Project Manager, and Mr. Lambert pointed out they have a 90 years combined experience, traveled through Milford, Mount Vernon, New Boston to get to Ware, and then continued to Pages Corner and Dunbarton. Based on their understanding or their interpretation, it's not a residential area in front of Mr. Stemple's house. It's an unimproved rural highway, and the statutory speed limit would be 45 miles an hour, which would also be correlated to the speed study. So based on that information, I requested a formal engineer and traffic investigation based on the discrepancy between the speed study and posted speed limits, which they are going to do. When they complete that, they will bring the results to the board, and you guys can provide input on how you'd like to see that area, not just in front of that, but the whole 77. Right. They'll give you information on that. So that's where we're at with that. Any questions on that? And Mr. Stemple was copied on that email, so he's aware.
Stand by.
Yes. State's got it. All right. This is the easy one. This is our standard agreement contract for Clough State Park. And I think I've got one for everybody. Including what needs to happen on the front page.
Is this the Army Corps?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's it. The actual contract on the back. But this is for the police department to work a detail at Clough State Park the July 4th weekend. This is around the 6th year of us doing this, maybe the 5th. Just need a motion, second, and the vote to accept this. The cost can't exceed $2,714 for those 3 days.
I'll move to accept the agreement between the Hampshire Department of Natural and Cultural Resources, Division of Parks and Recreation, and the Town of Ware's Police Department to provide police detail for traffic control and security enforcement at Clough State Park, July 3rd, 2026 through July 5th, 2026.
Thank you.
That's
Yes.
all we put on there.
Yeah.
For the cost,
Big fingers.
For the cost not to exceed $2,714, and further authorize Chief Moore to complete the agreement on the town's behalf.
Second. Thank you. Discussion? Chief, this money that we're gonna receive, 271430, 2714, that go to the general fund?
It's overtime, so it's, I believe it goes to,
Cruiser fund, doesn't it?
yeah, Beth used it to recompensate, yeah.
Whatever it's called.
It's reimbursing the overtime for the officers.
Okay.
There is money for the vehicle, and that does go in the wherever she keeps it. There's a revolving fund, I believe it is.
Good. Any other questions? Being none, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye. 500, 400, sorry.
All right, thank you. All right, so to point out, this contract or agreement started several years ago when we started experiencing, well, actually it was the state who reported experiencing large crowds, particularly from Madison in the area, and they contracted us to help keep an eye on the area. So this kind of ties into what you've been reading about, the 287G partnership we've been agreed in to go into with ICE. So the Ware Police Department has always partnered with our federal agents and state agencies. In 2019, we had an officer-involved shooting where the state police responded and were instrumental in handling that situation. Our pipe bomb in 2023, the alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives, and FBI assisted in solving that incident within a day. I personally am an FBI NA, which is the National Academy graduate. That's a 3-month course in Quantico, Virginia. ICE is no different. Personally, one of my first felony arrests was an illegal immigrant from Mexico who I stopped a vehicle in a traffic stop. They were 6 deep across a bench of a truck. And of course, nobody had seatbelts, so I needed everybody's information. One of them came back with a homicide warrant. We had personal relationships with our immigration officers at that time. I called Tom. Tom came up, found out that this guy was actually using his cousin's information, and we didn't think we'd be looking for him since it was 7 years ago that he actually killed somebody. So that's my personal involvement in that. Why do we need this type of contract in Ware or agreement? So Massachusetts is a sanctuary state. We see a lot of people, particularly at Horace and Clough, coming up from Mass. Matter of fact, we had an arrest of 2 this morning. They were from Guatemala, undocumented aliens, Mass ID with Mass plates issued to the individual. How that happened, I don't know, but that's Mass. Both of them had warrants, and the goal of ICE is to identify and remove criminal aliens. So one of those had already been through the judicial process, and the judge had signed off on his deportation order. The other one had pending failure to appear warrant, so ICE took both in custody.
What were the warrants for?
One was a deportation order, and one was for failure to appear.
Right, what was the original for the failure?
It was traffic related.
It was traffic.
And I'm not sure what state that was in. I had to go to a doctor's appointment, so that's about as much of that briefing as I got. So how do we come into contact with individuals? This is stuff we've been doing since I've been a policeman. We don't profile. We come into contact people. Either we're called, traffic stop, vehicle accident, or there's criminal activity. From there, we investigate fully. Under RSA 106-P1, I have the authority to enter into agreement to participate in the federal 287G program. What that means is we get 40 hours of training. We only operate in our jurisdiction. We don't go anywhere else. And we need to make one arrest after we're trained. All the full-time and part-time officers are going to be trained in this. We perform specific immigration functions under the guidance and supervision of ICE, just like we did today. We're not really in this program yet because we haven't completed the training, but when we hit these warrants, we call ICE. Yes, sir.
How were these 2 contacted today?
Traffic stop.
It was just a traffic?
Just a traffic stop.
Okay.
Yep. Need to see your license. Don't have a license. Well, I see your Guatemalan license. Let me see that. Here's my Massachusetts ID card. And when they ran their information, they came back with warrants, both of them. One had an ID, one did not. Both of them had the Guatemalan.
So it wasn't a result of what they look like?
No, traffic stop.
Okay.
And that's how we come into contact with individuals. So what does Ware get? So my job as the chief of police is to ensure we have the resources available to make our officers safe and to best serve our community. This program is going to provide us a lot of resources. Obviously, we're in our third year of our default budget. We haven't got cars approved in 3 years. Our cars are in pretty poor shape. The Dodges are. Tahoes are just fine. But there has to be that turnover or we're going to face serious problem. Last thing I want to do is to start losing other officers to other departments because we're not providing good safety equipment and taking care of their needs. If you recall, some of you, when I first got here, we were losing an officer every 3.8 months. It took a lot of work to get this department up and functioning where we're retaining people and they like working here. We want to continue that. This program will give us the resources to continue that. So once we certify in the program, we get $100,000. We also get a $7,500 stipend per TFO, which is a task force officer. That's the program we're going to enroll in. It's a one-time payment, and we'll have 11 officers completing the training. Our newest officer isn't eligible. You have to have 2 years on the job to be eligible to participate in this training. So we'll get $182,500. Mr. Campaign, I had a good question. We do not get payments or bonuses or anything like that based on the number of people we arrest or anything like that. We merely do the same job we're doing now. We do get a stipend, the department does. There's no individual payments for, like I said, a quote or anything else. But we do get a stipend for being in the program each quarter. There's no performance expectations. We do get investigative apps for our department-issued cell phones where we can access different information, and what it is facial recognition technology. Same thing that you see in the airport, we have access to that. We can point the camera, take a picture, and it'll tell us who it is, if they're in the system, just to help identify.
So what's that quarterly stipend?
I'm going to wait until it's actually paid to determine what it is. I want to see it. I've seen the $100,075 in the actual contract. I haven't seen where it's actually listed in there. It's just minor. It does list you get a stipend.
Where does this money go into?
So I'm going to get to that. Yes, sir. Also, we're not going to take away from the resources in where. So if we do happen to make an arrest like we did, if we were already in the program, we could have called 2 officers in for overtime to help transport, do the paperwork or whatever we needed to do per ICE's direction, because they're going to tell us what they'd like out of it, where we maintain our officers out in the community here, and now ICE will reimburse us for those other 2 officers to come in and take care of that arrest. Make sense? So no community loss of service if we do hit something like this. Whereas today, we did have to divert and take care of these because we didn't have the overtime to call in. Also, just to mention, I saw an online comment, so if somebody gets injured completing an ICE arrest, we do get federal workman's comp. It doesn't go on the town. Plus, if somebody happens to sue us, we're covered by the DOJ's legal team for any civil actions filed. So they cover all the bases. That contract that I said is available on the 287G website. They also have an information sheet, which I do have. I can pass out to you if you'd like to see it, but it pretty much goes over what I did. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we haven't started our training yet. This is all just basic information from the contract and on the website. The money has to go into some type of capital reserve or special revenue fund. The only fund the police department has is a capital reserve fund for police cruisers. So it's going to go in that fund. Since no means no, I'm not buying anything this year. This is all mean next year purchases.
Is this different than what we discussed earlier with Beth?
Nope, same stuff.
Wow. I'm not sure we're talking past each other, but if we can park the money somewhere.
Yep, so it's going into a capital reserve fund for the police cruisers, which we have.
And the question is, we create an appropriate
Yes.
fund next year.
Yes, sir.
Town has to pass it, correct?
That will be a special reserve fund, which I'll be requesting through the budget process.
And then we have to move the money.
Correct, and the voters will have to approve that.
I'm just trying to make a point. So there's a lot of moves that have to happen.
Correct. And at a minimum, the money will be there for cars. We'll be able to get rid of those Dodges next year. I have detail funds too. spending, the money comes into those accounts, and then spending goes just like any other town purchase policy. 3 bids, everything, depending on what it is. With the Board of Selectmen's approval on the purchases.
And I asked you, and you gave me the answer. I asked you, what was the time limit to spend this money? You said-
Correct, no time limit. I verified that with the administrator of the program today. So once the money's in the account, it's ours until we spend it. It's not like the ARPA money where we had a time limit. Any other questions about that program currently? And I'm sure I'll update you as we go on.
So is 170, 180, whatever, is there funds beyond that? On an annual
Yes,
basis?
there's a quarterly stipend, and I'm gonna wait till we actually get it. I will report that to the public. The public will have access to those accounts to see what's in them.
Does it have to go
We're
with the
not,
same reserve?
yes, until it'll have to go into that, I wanna make sure I get the names right. It has to go in the capital reserve fund, because we have that, until we get a special revenue fund.
And what are you proposing for the special revenue fund?
So the special revenue fund would be police, and it has to be spent on police, it can't be spent on anything else. And I actually have to go through a finance course, and Beth will go through it with me also, to make sure we're spending on what we're supposed to be spending on. But the special revenue fund currently, as my knowledge sits, would be for police vehicles, equipment, and capital improvement.
In the existing one?
And the one we're gonna propose.
Okay.
And the reason is,
So worst case scenario, we can use the money for cruisers.
yeah, we're getting 3 cruisers in January 1st.
Cases?
With the board's approval, obviously, I have to present it, and it has to go for public hearing, just standard stuff we already do.
The officers paid while they're doing this training stuff,
We just do that just like any other training. So the state of New Hampshire requires us to do so many hours a year, we're just counting that as our training we have to do. Right, it's like 24 currently, 24 hours, but we're actually doing 40.
so that'll take care of your state required training?
Yes, yes it will.
And that's already in your budget.
Yeah, that's just typical duties we do during the day. Any other questions? And that's, like I said, it's very basic because we haven't been involved with it.
So, and I think you're misspeaking saying January 1st, I think it has to be March, 1 year from the no means no.
Okay, March, thank you.
March 12th.
It would have to be the 12th.
Additionally,
Specifically.
I have another.
Chief, I know that it's probably a little pushback. Have you gotten any of that yet?
So the original post I saw was from the ACLU. They did a Twitter post, and there were 1,300 comments. From what I saw, it was 99% positive. I did see concerns from where it's at on the Where It's At page. Some people had good comments. One person nailed it, and I meant to write down her name because I was going to give her kudos. Absolutely correct. But a lot of misperceptions because they haven't been to the website to check out how the program actually runs, and are just basing it on their political view rather than how ICE has always operated, and how we've always operated to support each other. That's law enforcement. No change in mission, and we get
It's not a new program where you're going out seeking people that may or may not be here illegally.
No, just like today, we're not.
Standard police work.
Correct, yeah,
that
just.
We're getting the benefit of extra money for doing.
Yes, and if we, once we just have to make one arrest, today doesn't count because we have to complete our training first, but once we make that one arrest, there's no performance standards after that. It's not like we'll let them know when we get some.
Is there a timeline after you complete your training to make an arrest? Is there?
No, there's no timeline, but we're not actually in the program until we make an arrest. We're not certified, it's part of the certification
So
process.
if you get certified, you're still not in the program till there's an arrest.
Right, even if everybody completes the program,
Okay.
we're gonna get one arrest within the town jurisdiction.
Okay.
And once we do that, everybody is a certified task force officer. And it's only one, it's not one per person, it's one for the whole department. And then there are no other performance expectations.
Okay.
It's just, if we hit,
And how long is this agreement for?
I just read where it got funded through 2028. I'm sorry, the agreement is actually good for 2 years, but the program I saw got funded through 2028.
And how often is this funding awarded?
The quarterly stipend, so you got the initial 182,500 is one time when you make your arrest and do all your training.
Okay.
And that's for everybody to complete their training. And then there's a quarterly stipend.
And how much is that?
We're waiting to see how much it actually,
That's the one you don't know yet?
yeah.
Chief, if you find somebody through your traffic stops that would qualify for that one arrest
Correct.
after you're trained,
Yeah, we don't go out and target people, just,
if ICE called up and said, hey, by the way, we know this person's possibly in your town, and they direct you to go off and look at this, you're obliged to do that?
yes, we would do that anyway. That's just like anybody who calls in for a criminal.
I'm trying to say, does that qualify for one arrest?
Yes.
Thank you. That's, I'm just trying to figure out what the one arrest is.
Yeah, just, we take one person in custody.
And my other question is, the state law was recently signed by the governor,
2025. I believe it was July 1st, but
giving
it was,
you authority alone as the police chief to enter into this?
correct. And I can read the law, but
106.
municipalities are not allowed to interfere with this process, period.
Could you read the,
Sure.
is it long?
No,
Sorry, I asked.
no. 106P:1, neither the state nor any county, municipality, or other political subdivision of the state shall prohibit or impede any state, county, or local law enforcement agency from applying for entry or entering into an agreement with the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement to participate in a federal 287G program pursuant to 8 U.S.C. Section 1357G. And that's it in its entirety.
And you have done this.
Yes. I got my training link this morning.
So the town, you've committed your department for this?
Correct.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, and it also lines us up with our other partners within the county and the state. The state police are already a part of this. Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office is already a part of this. And local jurisdictions around us are becoming a part of us. Hillsborough signed up a few days before we did. Police Department.
Any other question with the chief? You got early night, chief.
Well, no, not done yet.
Oh, gosh. Gonna let you off.
One more.
Too much to go with.
Gotta close that back there. All right, so I just kind of want to give an overview of the Ware Police Department because there's one comment came up tonight, why aren't we at the high schools? And there were some comments made by Parks and Rec a few weeks ago which were off. So we have 11 out of 12 full-time positions filled and one part-time officer. What that means is we cover 20 hours a day. Usually it's 2 to 3 officers on per shift. We cover almost 60 square miles, and we have approximately 9,200 residents. We prioritize our calls for service. Obviously, if somebody's getting stabbed with a knife, we're going to go to that over loud music. Hypothetically, if we contacted 10 people an hour during all working hours, it would take us 46 days to contact every person in Ware proportionally. I just want to kind of put that perspective on what the currently 11 of us in a part-time actually handle. Everyone's treated the same. Everyone gets the same amount of service. We're currently working with a reduced budget, as you've heard all night, and officers are doubled up, which also restricts coverage. We put out a monthly newsletter informing citizens of what we're doing and responding to all requests for information. So if somebody does want information, they can get it. All they got to do is ask. So some of the quotes were that Chase Park and other fields have been slightly a lower priority or non-emergency, non-911 issue, and they feel like they're not getting the response they need. So everything we do is documented. We are heavily documented industry. An analytical review of data between January 1st, 2025 and May 24th, 2026 yielded and followed. We did 27 calls for service related to Chase Park, Innocent Memorial Field, Bolton's Field, and Purington Memorial Field. a breakdown of the calls for service where we self-initiated 19 times just to check on the parks. That's more than
I think part of Park's problem was that they weren't calling the right number.
They weren't calling the right number.
Yeah, well, I mean, but they put that out for the citizens, so I just want to make sure I'm clear to the citizens.
Calling your preferred number for them to call, not 911 per se, but
Dispatch.
dispatch cost. They were calling your where number?
Your office number.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's correct, it has been posted on the sign now, so.
Yep, and I'm almost done. We had 4 calls of service which had no direct relation to Parks and Rec, and we did have 4 calls of service during however many months that was from Parks and Rec. One was a courtesy lockout, took us 8 minutes to arrive and clear. One was a possible DUI, 20 minutes to arrive, check the area and then clear. We assisted the staff with the juveniles operating a boat with a motor, which they thought was illegal, but the motor was small enough where it wasn't illegal. So we actually arrived 2 minutes, explained that to them and clear. And then a disorderly subject, we located the vehicle and the operator and cleared that within 10 minutes. So I think those are all pretty reasonable times for when they did need our assistance. So that was that. I just wanted to clear up that misconception. Any other questions for me? I haven't seen y'all in a while, so.
You're still here.
Still here.
You're still there.
Yep.
You're walking on the system, so
Yeah.
One more question for you.
Yes, sir.
What happened with the carport?
They have verified, we had to send them photos of the site. It's currently being engineered. They received our deposit. We've confirmed they received our deposit. They send it off to a company to actually manufacture it. Once it gets manufactured, they have to ship it up here. They hire a company out of, I believe it's Rhode Island, to come up here and put it together. I know it's the same company over and over. It might be Connecticut. It's one of those.
it's only gonna take them 2 days to put together, so.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, as long as it's up before snow starts flying, we're golden. I mean, that's the whole point. So we do check on them periodically, but I mean, as long as you get done with the summer, we're happy campers. Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shirley? Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay, manifest.
Should be a mouthful.
You can hand it down to him, he's good at reading it.
I can do it.
The long
Only one page?
It's a long one,
The
huh?
long one.
It's only one page.
Okay.
I'll see if I can stumble through it. June 8th, to order the treasurer to sign the payroll, accounts payable, checks
Right.
dated on June 11th, 2026, as included in the following manifest. Payroll manifest, $80,369.64. Supplemental payroll manifest, $286.62. Accounts payable manifest, $55,574.02, for a total of $136,230.28. The following manifests were previously ordered to sign by March 18th, 2026, by the Board of Selectmen. It is payroll manifest, $85,316 and, excuse me, 14 cents. And that was check 5/28/26. Accounts payable manifest, that is $122,879.53. And that is check dated 05/28/2026. Payroll manifest, $90,732.87. Check date 6/04/26. And accounts payable manifest, $33,616.33. Check payable 6/04/26. Please vote. Need me to read this on the bottom? Okay.
Because there's no selectmen's meeting on the 15th.
Okay, just making sure. To order the treasurer to sign payroll check dated January 18th, 2026, estimated to be $95,000 for amount. The order of the treasurer to sign up to $125,000 for accounts payable that cannot wait until the next scheduled meeting. Reports and actual check payments will be reported to the Board of Selectmen by inclusion of the manifest memo, inclusion on manifest memo at the next scheduled meeting.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? None, all in favor?
Aye.
400, thank you. Okay, minutes.
We have two sets, 511 and 518. And Bruce and Benson were not here for 511.
Move to
But if
approve.
you've read them, you can vote if you have no issues. Right? But other than that, it's only two of you.
Want to wait till next month?
Bruce and
Next-
Benson were not here.
Want to wait till next week?
Yeah, we can table that one, I guess.
You can table. And then 518, yes.
It's four of us, right?
There was everybody, I think. Yeah, you were all here.
Move to approve 518 minutes as written.
Second.
Discussion? Being none of those favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 400. Administrative report?
I handed it all around to you, a couple things, I got actually another page here. You did the public hearing changes and you made the approval, so we'll get those posted. Chase Park, we did that as well. I do have for you, at the last meeting, you had a gentleman from K&A, Keach Nordstrom Associates, for the Eastman Way Conservation easement signature. I've been back and forth with town council, and it's gonna have to go for signature, but I guess the bottom line was, there was a lot of research done by myself without sending it over to Mr. Whitley, and I came up with 10 things, and in all the research that we found, the conservation easement that was part of the original subdivision for Lot 191 was owned by someone else. So 191, which was owned by Melvan, M-E-L-V-A-N, was the owner of 191, which this gentleman lot is on. So, because it was part of the original, the conservation easement that was conveyed, they weren't the owner to convey it.
Oh,
Okay?
That is, that was the crux of the problem.
Right, so with that being said, Attorney Whitley has drafted a release that Mr. Bushard would sign, the chair of the board and the Conservation Commission, only for the 191 that had no right to put a conservation easement on. That does leave a conservation easement on the end of lots 186, 35, 36, 37, 38, and 39. That's a bigger hurdle. It's in the backyard of that subdivision, and if that wants to be pursued to remove that, you've got to notify all of those owners. Where this one gentleman owns the lot that came here that night, and it appeared, from what I got. Also, I did read the conservation minutes, and they allowed up to $10,000 for a search or an attorney to come up with it. So, I guess I'm trying to move this along because it didn't have any right to be conveyed or established. The young gentleman is waiting to get a building permit because he can't get it without this on here, because he can't get his driveway. So Wednesday night, the conservation is going to the meeting, and I guess I could probably relay it to them. But what I need from you is, you can look at this easement, but you have to authorize the chair.
So you need a motion.
Yes, to authorize the chair to sign the release of the conservation easement on lot 191-8. And then it has to, I'd have to get the chair of the conservation, and then I could get this gentleman to come in and sign, and we can notarize it and be done with it.
So move.
Oh, sorry.
Second?
You
Anyone?
listed off the lot
Second.
number, so.
Okay, fair enough.
Hang on, hang on.
No discussion?
No discussion. All those favor?
Alright, so, you're gonna authorize the chair?
Yes.
Authorize the chair to sign.
And who signed it? Who seconded it? Sorry.
I did. Bruce, second.
All those favor?
Aye.
400. I'll sign this after
You
the
can sign it now, just hand it back.
Parks and Rec. Excuse me, after,
Sign it now and hand it back.
Sign now before you forget, and then.
I won't forget, Naomi will tell me.
I'll forget. And then I need the whole thing back. Just sign your name.
You don't want the date?
No, just sign your name.
Sure you don't want the date?
Just sign your name.
Want my real signature or my semi-real signature?
Just a stamp will be fine. Alright, so that's one that was on my list. Thank you for doing that, and I'll get that cleared up for him so we can move on with that one. Without spending a lot of money. Solar array grant. So,
Yes.
we received permission from governor and council. I then have forwarded the Barrington agreement that, a contract that they want us to sign for Attorney Whitley to look at. Attorney Whitley came back, had some concerns, said, now you need to run it by Primex. And I ran it by Primex. I got it back late this afternoon. There's a lot of changes, and there's a requirement of a bond. So I haven't even began to get it back to Barrington. But what I guess I'm asking you guys to do is if you'll allow me to just work with them, because you're not meeting for another 2 weeks, so, I mean,
I gotta get this moving.
I gotta get it moving, but it came in late this afternoon from Primex. They are requiring a bond, and there's a lot more changes to the
What
contract.
kind of changes are we talking about?
I can forward it to you if you wanna look at it. I don't have it with me. It
Has
had,
Energy been
no, I
aware of
didn't,
it?
no, I didn't even get to it this afternoon. I mean,
We
you can
wanna
kick
get
it
a
out for 2 more weeks,
No, I don't
but,
wanna kick it down, but
I mean, I wouldn't do anything I wasn't supposed to, but I'm just saying, if you want me to appoint me, and I would try to work between Primex Council and
Yeah.
Barrington to get it moving.
Get a clean copy for us to look at.
yeah.
So you just have to allow me
Sure.
the authority to sign whatever I need to sign.
need a motion?
or just-
I would like a motion, just for the record.
I make a motion that we allow Naomi to work with Primex, Barrington, and who else?
Just Steve Whitley would,
Steve
before I signed it,
Whitley,
yeah.
To
Finalize.
resolve the issues on the solar contract.
I'll second it.
And sign it.
Well,
And sign it.
Any discussion?
I'll second.
No, I already got a
Jack
second.
already did.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I'm out of line.
Yeah.
All those favor?
Yes.
Aye.
All right.
400?
Thank you. Perambulation, there was a request back a while ago that they wanted to, we're gonna meet on June 18th, or, I'm sorry, May 18th, same night we were. New Boston needs to perambulate the markers. They wanted to do June 18th, and just speaking with Jack when it came through, Jack asked if I would just bounce it back out and not go during tick season. So we've all agreed that we'll hike it in the fall, just to let you know. So that, we're gonna push it off till after the ticks. Before, I used to be we don't have a rep now to the Southern Hampshire Planning Commission. So, they asked me if I would come back for 2 years, because Ware doesn't have one. So, I was on the executive board on behalf of the town of Ware, trying to keep you in the loop of things. So, I would be happy to get back on
Want a
to,
motion for that?
yep. It's a 2-year term.
Southern Hampshire.
Yeah, I'd just be the town rep. You need a rep from your town. Danny Jean was our rep, and she
Oh,
left,
alright.
yeah.
I make a motion, we have Naomi as the rep for the Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission.
2 years.
Chris,
From the town of Ware.
I'll second that.
term of 2 years.
It's a
For
2-year
yeah.
term.
Discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
400.
Neil did come up, and he had something to get away for tonight, so he asked if he could come back on the 22nd. I don't have an agenda ready for the 22nd, which as we get to further,
I think it's fine.
we'll have things come up.
You know, I'm trying to wonder, the only thing we're gonna ask is,
I-
somebody's gotta come to you if you get a key, right?
They have to come and get a key, but we also wanted to know who the authority was and who's gonna be in charge for July 4th, because I needed to understand that for Primex. So you still got time on the 22nd. So he wants to come back at the 22nd because he had another engagement tonight.
Let me ask this question.
Sure.
We can open up the front door to enter the foyer, right? And then we can climb the stairs and have to open up the door to get into above the foyer, if you will. The room above the foyer for the bell. So we'll
Well, there's a
have-
door there,
There is a door.
in between the landing and the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, the question is,
Those tough stairs.
here's really the question. Are they gonna need the bathrooms downstairs, which means they gotta open up the,
No, I wouldn't think so.
just saying, so in other words, they're only gonna have open the foyer, the stairways, and the one door opening into that, above the, room above the foyer.
Someone needs to be responsible for locking it back up too, though.
Yeah. Just wanna make sure.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
So we'll discuss that, I'm trying to write here.
Well, it'd be nice if Neil had answers for the 22nd.
Yeah.
Yep.
There'll be time after that, so.
Yep. And then I'm gonna hand down, I have 4 things that need signature. I have 2 oaths of office, that need to be signed. They came in to see Pam. Now, I never did the bottom of them, so now you guys can do the bottom of those 2. One is conservation, one is energy. Then I have a cemetery deed and a junkyard license that I'm gonna start down your direction. Then I do have, so I want to just touch base, and I wrote a separate thing, is I want to touch base on the gravel situation. If you remember, for many, many years, the town of Ware, the selectmen have been the gravel operators.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, the gravel regulators.
Yep.
So in 2025, we started to work with Attorney Whitley on, it was brought to our attention that we needed, or you should have been, having renewal applications regardless if you were grandfathered or not. So we met with Attorney Whitley and we met with the town engineer. We came up with October 20th, we came up with a new application and a process of how we're gonna follow it. And then it got put on hold after October 20th, and when we decided we'd put it to the town to go back to the planning board. Now, we're gonna jump forward now, and now it's gonna be part of the planning board's process. I have had a conversation with Attorney Whitley, who felt that we should draft letters and go out to the 4 owners indicating that there's been a change and what's going to be expected. We also need to involve the engineer because for many years we have not had anybody inspect the gravel pits, which we always did. Used to be the selectmen would go. So today we drafted 4 gravel letters providing the notice of change of going to the planning board being the regulator as a result of town meeting. The letter further provides context for the 1979 ordinance in the state RSA, which is 155E. And it includes a new application that the planning board will approve in the fall. The idea is the planning board would receive the applications that were included prior to October 1st. October 1st, they would apply just like you would for any other land use. At that time, it would be put on an agenda for the planning board. I have talked to the chair. At that time, it would be put on an agenda whenever they come in. And the planning board would review the documentation that's there, the application, and they would then have it sent over to town engineer to be reviewed per the application, per the state law, and things like that. And that engineering is going to include a look at the site, it's going to include the figuring of the bond, it's going to include a lot of things. And then, once the engineer is done with that, it would go back to the planning board for a final approval. But it gives the engineer 90 days from start to finish to get it done, because it's going to be on a calendar year. Now, the application, the engineering cost for the site visit, reviewing the application, and all of that is borne by the applicant, just like a subdivision would be.
How many does he have to do?
There would be 4.
He's gonna do all 4 in 90 days?
And that's workable as long as they all come in. You know, you may get one and then 2 weeks later you get another, but he worked through us with 90 days, because the 90 days came actually from another town, and that's where we got the application from that says 90 days, and that was workable. We still will have to, in July, have a work session between us and them, because we have to hand off the ordinance as well. The ordinance will have to be amended, and that's only required at a public meeting to take selectmen and make it planning board. It doesn't have to go to town meeting, it has to be just done that way. So I just wanted to give you an update of where we were. Those letters are going out. Craig and I have had a conversation. Actually, I ran into the vice chair Pastor Stockhouse at a ball game. We briefly talked about it. So just to make you aware that the change is now going to shift hands. Next thing I have is, on June 1st, Beth, myself, Fire Chief, and Assistant Fire Chief met via Zoom with MRI, with Brian from MRI, to discuss how we were going to start the survey. We had come up with 10 towns to be part of the survey, 5 large, 5 small. The survey is going to consist of between 12 and 14 questions that we're currently working on. I reached out to my fellow administrators and others as to some questions that they might ask. So I put it together in a format of survey form. I have sent it over to Chief and Assistant Chief. We're going to meet Wednesday morning. I came up with 18. We're going to have to reduce it somehow or maybe combine them. At that point, once we do that Wednesday morning, I would send it over to Brian from MRI, and then we would start this. And I didn't write down the 10, but I can get you guys the 10. It would be 5 larger, 5 smaller type of a thing. That's what we agreed upon, because you don't want to be too overwhelming. So that's currently going in the background right now, and that's where we are with it. Wednesday morning I'll have more, so I can report back to you and share you guys' emails as well. Moose Plate grant, remember you guys gave me authorization to intent to file an application. Well, our application's been, the intent has been approved. Now I am working through the application, which is up to $10,000 for preservation. The application needs to be filed by June 26th, so you guys will see it and sign it the 22nd. And just to give you an idea of how it's going to work, in the fall of 2026, if we are successful with the application, it would be awarded in the fall. And then December 31st of 2027 is the deadline for all grant activities to be complete. So whatever we are going to do, once we've been awarded, if we are successful, it has to be completed by December 31st of 2027, and then a final report to the state is due by January 31st of 2028. So.
What is this thing?
So that's the Moose Plate. It was a license plate through the state of New Hampshire. It was for preservation. So we're working on preserving some of Pam's records. We've got some older books that are falling apart and things. It was for preservation of documents, right. So I asked you for the intent to file, which you gave me, and I got the back from the state saying, your project sounds like it would fit, so now you gotta go to the next.
So the money for this is coming from the Moose Plate program?
Moose Plate program, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
No, it was ringing a bell, but it wasn't the red bell.
Okay, and then, I know it's getting late. Tonight, you heard from Jason, so we need to make a motion on the hiring.
Yeah.
I know Jack has stepped out, but we're gonna keep moving.
I'll make the motion when he comes back.
Okay, and then then I'll move on that one. And one other thing is, just a reminder, you are well aware, I'm sure. This Saturday, June 13th, at the Ware Safety Complex from 11 to 1, there's a celebration of Lee and Taylor's life. They've put it out all on Facebook and said everyone is welcome to attend and share stories. So I just thought, someone that's been here that long, it may be, we won't be in town, but if you guys can make it.
I'll be there.
I figured if you guys could make it, that would be great. And then you guys have a motion from earlier, and then I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. So if somebody wants to take the wheel. I have it right here.
Three of us here.
I have it right there.
I can do this one too if you want.
Whatever one you want to do.
All right. Board met in non-public prior to the meeting to review sealed board minutes as stated in RSA 91A3 2M for the consideration of whether to disclose minutes of a non-public session due to change in circumstances under paragraph 3. At this time, I would like to make a motion to unseal the following previously sealed minutes. March 9th, 2026 at 6:05.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded.
Is that something I can have for a minute?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Moved and seconded. All in favor by roll call. Ricky, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and I'm just going to put Jack as an abstention because he's out of the room. And then, yep, go ahead, thanks.
Make a motion pending a criminal background check to have Paul Gated hired at the transfer station as a part-time employee at the starting rate of $18.71 for a 6-month probationary period, at which point he'll be placed at 1928. And this will be for Fridays and Saturdays.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, you might as well just keep going.
Right.
I'm all set, so you can move on. Committee updates.
Cemeteries,
Committee updates.
or you got some?
I do. Energy is looking to go forward with a proposal from Kearsarge Energy. And we need a board approval to do that. It's to, I'm gonna mess this up. They are required to, for their solar projects, to give credits to towns. But we need to enter in an agreement to accept
Those monies.
that money. So the Energy Commission is looking for the Board of Selectmen to authorize us to enter into that kind of an agreement.
Did they come up with some kind of figure on what the rebate will be?
I'm not sure about that. I meant to get more information. It's been kind of a hectic time. So let me,
When they
Like a
talked
little
about
more
it when I was on
information
there,
before
it
I
wasn't a
commit-
lot of money.
commit to it.
no, it's not a ton of money, but even if it's
Yeah.
$500, it's money.
It's something, right, no, I just want a little more information about who they are and what
Yeah,
they're about, and
it's-
where the money comes from type thing.
Where the money comes from,
Well, they generate income based on their solar farms.
Solar farms, okay,
But part of their deal, the agreement that they can run these, is that they have to offer money back
to the communities
to communities.
that participate.
Not just participate, but that ask them for it. And
Oh, okay.
I
All right.
guess there's a procedure for getting that money. So the Energy Commission has asked me to come forward and
Moved it,
approve
we
that.
moved and approved it.
Good, because I was looking for it.
We also hired Paul.
So,
We also hired Paul.
Okay.
let's see, we're meeting again on the 15th. I'll clarify exactly what it is that I need to get from the board.
Yep.
And then on the 22nd,
That sounds,
we'll move on.
sounds like a plan.
All right? Can you put that on the agenda, please?
Yep, you can circle it.
Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
for the 22nd.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Okay.
I got a few, but,
All right, now,
but if Bruce has got anything,
no, I don't have anything.
What are we talking about?
Committee members,
committee,
I purposely took myself out of the last meeting with Parks and Rec, because I didn't want to be in the room with them folks discussing amongst themselves. But I did participate with the chair, the committee chairman and the director.
Oh, you mean when they were talking about the Chase Park?
Yeah, they were gonna specifically talk about Chase
I see.
Park.
Okay.
And I said, I'd rather not be there because I don't wanna,
Taint the discussion.
well, whatever, they should have an open discussion
Sure.
without me
right,
there.
among themselves.
So I took myself out of that one.
Cemeteries, we're meeting on Wednesday, just to go over some Pine Grove plotting again. Some of the older section that's right up against the road, and some of the older section, the 1800s, just confirm who's there and,
did they ever end up finding someone to cut the trees down?
no, that was going
it's
back
gotta
out
be
to
put
bid.
back out.
It's going
Actually,
back
I
out to
got an
bid.
email to be put it back out so we can have bids for June 29th.
Correct.
Did you add, like, add Austin Silly under that list of who you put it out to?
Well, I don't call anybody.
Yeah,
They'll have to-
that's-
Just when it's posted, they'll just have to be
Yeah,
notified.
you have to notify him it's
I
posted.
don't wanna start calling people and saying, hey, it's
Right,
posted. you know.
right, because that's wicked
just-
favoritism.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, once it's posted,
If you want to let them know, perfect.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
all I could do is, because all the details would be posted there.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's two, but I'll let them know. I'll let them both know.
Yeah.
Because I know you didn't get any bids last time, so.
I already got one.
We got one, yeah.
I didn't see.
I'm all about
Yeah.
fair competition,
Yeah.
so.
Sure.
And then on the 13th, before Leon's thing, we're doing headstone cleanings in Pine Grove, no, not Pine Grove, East where Johnson area. We'll be over there on the Buzzell Hill area. But it's 9 to 11, a couple hours of cleaning. All the supplies will be there. If anybody wants to come, more the merrier. We got plenty of supplies. And then next Tuesday, we'll be back up at the Muzzy Cemetery on Upper Cranny to finish the leaf removal that we started. So, busy.
You picked a busy committee.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're very active, and you know, again, I can't thank them enough, because it's definitely, they're all putting a foot forward and
Yeah, they are.
really trying to get things straightened away. It's been great. So actually, I'm actually, again, as busy as they are, I'm actually pretty thankful I signed up for them, so.
I think they've done a great job.
But
A lot of interest.
You all done with yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing you got an email from Mr. Towns. Do we just acknowledge that we got an email from Mr. Towns?
He asked me to read it.
And,
It's up to the board if you want to write into
It's up to the board, but
Did you have
he
others?
asked me to read it.
I read all the other
I
ones.
guess, I think you read all the other ones, didn't you?
I read all the other ones during the public comment.
Yeah,
I mean, during the transfer station.
Okay.
Yeah.
and the only one I got was public comment. I read that one, so.
I read that. Read this?
Yeah, yeah. Does the board want to read it, or?
Are you going to read it out loud into the record? It was directly sent to you, but it wasn't requested to read it into the minutes, but that's entirely up to you guys. I just wanted to acknowledge that we got it because I don't want to be withholding anybody's.
No, of course not. You didn't request to read it, I don't see a reason to read it, no.
Are we all out of other business?
So that's the consensus is no, just asking.
I'm fine with no.
So I acknowledge that we've received it.
Yes.
That's consensus, and I'll hold.
Okay.
Is that the end of the
That's all I had.
That's all I
That's the end of
had.
my pile for
So
tonight.
do we have other business to discuss? I think we took care of it all.
Did I miss something?
Well,
I hope we took care of it.
we talked about doing some other business, I think
Oh.
we've already done it.
Oh, you asked if I would bring the emails, yes, earlier today, and then I just wanted
Point
to,
is, I didn't know.
we've done everything,
We're good.
yeah.
I didn't know if
Motion
there
to
was
adjourn.
something else.
I'll second that. And you don't have to alter that one, I second it.
Next agenda for the next time?
Yeah, I don't have one, but I do have Benson just asked while you were out of the room to put on a discussion about Kearsarge Energy. He's gonna bring back some
Solar.
information for
Solar
solar.
credit.
And then, Mr. Kirk wants to come back for the 22nd. I should have the application done for the preservation grant, and if the department heads come up with anything else, I would put them on, but I don't have anything pressing at this moment.
I think we need to have Jason come back in 2 weeks and sort of give us a plan for his plan to go off and gather this information for the transfer station.
Okay.
Just, and if he needs to have,
People go?
if he wants to go to other towns, I'd be happy to go if somebody else wants to go too. Naomi, you want to go? So that we can go, gather this information and bring it back. I mean, we should.
I'm happy to do some of that.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to go to
I'm just
surrounding
saying,
towns.
it should be Jason's job to go and lay out this plan. And I'd be willing to participate, you'll be willing to participate.
Yeah,
And so we can bring this to closure.
I agree.
That we took that as an action.
Okay.
I think we ought to come back, tell us his plan, not that it has, it's done, but what the events want to be that he's going to do.
Yeah, and I think our point was well taken, is how much education we can pump out.
It's gonna be the
There
best.
really needs to be some education pumped out.
Sure.
All the socials, all the,
Yeah.
everything we can get on.
Well, if nothing else, we certainly got it on the table.
Oh, yeah, no, but I think it's,
Conversation is known.
right, and I think it's, the right thing is come back and see what we're doing, moving along. It's not gonna be just hidden away somewhere.
No.
We'll
no.
take what
He's
we
got to
had
bring it, we're looking for Jason to drive the bus
Yep,
on this, and he should come back and tell us what the steps are.
yep.
Now will you entertain a motion to adjourn?
I wouldn't be objecting to it.
I'll second it.
No discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
With
hang on
none.
1 second.
Well, thank you all.